you can have good addictions. So hopefully this is a good one. Or bad ones.
You just need to slow down your internet, and then it won't be so fun anymore.
Somehow my internet
down
got sped up, by the way. Someone has figured out that I was using or misusing slow internet, to punish my children so that they wouldn't be on it so often. So magically, now my internet's faster.
I thought that was brilliant, by the way. I'd never heard of anybody doing that.
No, people haven't heard this, but there's this really slow internet service here in town called Clearwire. And
it's a great commercial, by the way.
Yeah, great. What do they charge you for that?
I think it's $35 a month. So it's about half of what you'd normally pay for an internet service. And it's unlimited, so you can watch as much of it as you possibly can handle, all day, every day. And the problem is that it's slow. It's so slow that it almost can't stream even one video. So that's nice, because then the kids get tired. Oh God,
yeah, because they want it right now.
Pause.
I can relate.
It was a brilliant strategy.
I'm not very patient when it comes to internet anymore.
Been undermined. Oh well.
Yeah, that's me too. Except my kids go too much. They do too much internet, so sometimes I get in trouble by my internet service provider.
What's your plan?
Oh, I have GCI.
You overuse.
Yeah, yeah. So you said half, that $35 is half of what people normally pay.
Yeah.
No, I pay like double that. So.
Yeah.
Well, if it's double that, that would be half, wouldn't it?
No, double.
Double the double.
Double the double.
Oh, so you pay
double the double.
Like 140.
Maybe more.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I'm on a good plan right now, though. I think they've got me on some kind of promo. Yes, very fast.
Liquid fast.
Lots of usage.
Well, to me, and I don't. It's like, do you want indoor plumbing or fast internet? Let me think about it. I mean, you gotta have fast internet. Right?
I have things to do and people to see.
Right.
Yeah, when we were down in the States, Washington and Kansas, they have unlimited. So you pay like maybe $45 a month, and it's unlimited streaming, unlimited download.
$45 a month?
Yeah. So I got used to that, and then came up here, and I was not happy with GCI.
Well, AT&T, sometimes use AT&T off my phone, and it's really fast.
It's fast.
Hotspot, oh yeah.
Very fast.
Yeah. No, there's nothing worse than slow internet.
No, we'll get there one day.
Yeah, someday we'll get there. I think there was something in the paper this weekend about ACS really beginning to upgrade its internet capacity and broadband. And
they're running fiber all over the state. They're gonna tap into the schools first, so that the schools have fast internet.
Of course.
Go from there.
Of course they are.
I'm not really sure what fast internet does, by the way, for teaching, but.
Well, I hear you though. There's a lot of stuff out there, man. You just don't want kids to see.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having 1,000 kids in the internet.
Well, whatever your addiction is, whether it's gaming or pornography or, as in my case, Pentatonics and Thrift Shop by Macklemore.
Now I'm gonna have to go listen to that.
Oh, it is so much fun.
My cousin's son does the lighting for that group.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, he follows them around and does the.
What a dream
lighting.
job.
Yeah.
My barber's third cousin drives their bus.
Hey, it's my claim to fame.
6 degrees of separation between any two people.
Man, it's like 70 degrees outside.
I know.
It's very strange fall.
Well, it's
winter.
This is good weather as long as there's no snow on the ground. But if there's snow on the ground, then it's just a big ice rink. So if you're gonna have this weather, now's the time to have it.
Yeah, I was prepared to come back from Hawaii with we had coats in the car and mittens and gloves.
You notice how she's always still in Hawaii?
Really wasn't so bad.
You notice that?
I'm not over it yet.
You can't get over it.
Glenn one day is like, yeah, I went to Hawaii once. I won a contest. Vine said, yeah, when I was in Hawaii last week.
Get used to it. It's probably going to come up a bit more.
Unbelievable.
That's all
My
right.
love affair with Hawaii is not over yet. Sorry.
Not appropriate to be envious here, Dan.
Is it appropriate to try to get people jealous intentionally?
Nope.
No.
I'm really not.
That's true, though.
It was our first family vacation in like 10 years, so.
Yeah. My house on the hillside was 17 bedrooms. I just love it. All right. Here we go. I don't think we said the name of the show. What is the name of this daggum show anyway?
Get up and get ready for the day.
ABNT Our number 569-1080, 569-1080. We're also streaming live video and audio. danfagan.us. I will tell you that I really do believe Sean Parnell's going to pull this out. Now, this is the exact same feeling I had, as I told you last week, about the presidential race toward Mitt Romney. I was convinced Romney was going to win. I knew beyond the shadow of a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact same feeling, and I have it.
So he's
right
definitely
now.
losing. Then.
I don't know.
Now, is this good or bad for you? Because really, it's all about your feelings.
Good for the show.
Okay.
If Walker wins,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it could be disastrous, and someone will need to hold him accountable. Although Strogoff obviously won't. But I think it's good for the state if Parnell wins. So there's a conflict of interest, clearly. Lots to get to today, and plus I'm going to scold Bonnie. This is going to be, there's really a few things I enjoy more than putting Bonnie in her place. So I'm going to do that next. 6:14, Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Give him a call, 569-1080, KOAN. Oh yeah, it's game day. I love football. He could go all the way. He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown. Man, that's why I love football. There's nothing better. Well, except maybe free buffalo wings from Sicily's. Call 333-8000 right now and ask for free buffalo wings. Buy any extra large 2-topping pizza at regular price and get 10 free buffalo wings. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Enjoy hot, fresh pizza and Italian food. Call 333-8000 or order online at sicilyspizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza. 333-8000.
Is your IT department burdened with first-line support calls about printer jams and broken printers? Are individual departments purchasing expensive printer cartridges that get buried in office supply budgets? Is your printer support strategy really a printer replacement plan? Let Alaska Enterprise Solutions show you how to reduce those high print costs. AES is a Xerox professional agency in Alaska with Xerox's worldwide support behind them. You can reach us at aesalaska.com or 561-5100.
It's the most advanced technology available, engineered with over 200 million sensory receptors. Its all-terrain design is beautifully formed, weather-resistant, reliable, astonishingly high performance in even the most challenging of circumstances. And it is also the finest search technology in the world. There's nothing else quite like a search dog. Be part of the search. Go to searchdogfoundation.org to see how you can help.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080KOAN.com.
All right, welcome back. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, KOAN, KVNT, streaming live video audio on danfagan.us. Our number, if you're up this early, is 569-1080.
Mm-hmm.
569-1080. That's how you get in touch with us. Yeah, I'm telling you, we'll know a lot more tomorrow around 5 o'clock, but I'm telling you, don't give up on this Parnell race yet. Do not give up on it. There's still I talked to a lot of people this weekend, and there are clearly many more Republican absentee ballots than Democrats. Significantly more. So how many of those Republicans actually voted for Parnell, we don't know, because a lot of conservatives were fooled into voting for Walker, so you just don't know. And, of course, the independents, how they'll break, we have no idea. But there's a chance. There's a chance. You guys both agree with me on that?
Yeah, sure. But what I'm more interested in is what the idea that we should think one way or the other about it. The ballots have been cast. People are going to send. They've already sent them in. You can't send them in anymore. The die's cast.
So what are you saying now?
So you're saying about giving up hope?
No, you're right. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
But you could, I'd like to think there's a chance that he could win.
Sure.
I think it'd be cool if it did.
Yeah, and it's a kick in the gut, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That we chose a guy who literally said nothing about what he's going to do as governor, and that we just went with him because we don't like a guy. I don't know why we don't like Parnell. Maybe he talks about his faith too much. I have no idea why people don't like him so much. I think he's a great governor.
I'd love it just for the fact that Shannon Moore would have to eat her words.
Well, she does that on a daily basis.
Yeah, she's eating a lot of words.
Anything new. So anyway, back to our friend Bonnie Cameron over here. It's just an amazing addition to the broadcast. Would you agree with that, Glenn?
Absolutely.
Ryan, are you in agreement with me on that? You always got to start out.
I had a thumbs up, but I guess you can't see that.
But I'm learning a little bit about you and your ilk.
Are we back to
I
ilk?
love it when you say ilk because my blood pressure goes up.
The Matt Johnsons and the
Joe Miller.
the Joe Millers.
The really stellar people of the world.
Yeah, Mark Fish and.
Oh, don't lump me in with him.
I didn't even say a word yet. She's already coming at me.
You're saying words. Mark Fish is.
I'm
there
sure
are
Mark
two
Fish
words.
is a very good man.
Oh, I didn't say
I
he was a
don't
bad
know
man.
that, but I'm not in his ilk.
But let me just add. Now, listen. I just want to stipulate because you're onto my tricks, okay? Which is not really good. It's not making for good radio. If you don't answer my questions, you need to answer my questions. You can't say I'm not going to answer that. No.
Give me a good question and I'll answer
What
it.
happens is when you begin to obviously lose the argument in dramatic fashion, you'll just say, I'm not going to answer that because if you answered it, it would prove my point beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I just need a Saturday and a Sunday to write some notes down.
No.
Think about it.
There's no rehearsal. This is live radio. So if you're going to debate me, you have to debate me. You can't quit in the middle of the debate once it seems like you're going to lose. Fair?
I've only been debating you for 3 months now.
Yeah, but when I really get you in the corner, it's like, I'm not going to answer that. What? I'm just not going to answer
sometimes it's a stupid question.
Yeah, but sometimes it proves my point. That's why you won't answer it.
Okay.
So are you going to answer my questions?
We'll see.
Oh, my goodness. Glenn, would you make her answer my questions?
All right, Bonnie, please answer his question.
Thank you. Brian, are you okay? Does she have to answer my questions? What's the rule here?
I was going to say sometimes it's an inappropriate question.
There you
go.
go.
Give me an example of an inappropriate question.
I don't have an example.
That's exactly right. You know why? Because I've never asked an inappropriate question. All questions are appropriate.
That's really annoying when you say give me an example, like right on the fly.
Well,
my husband does that all the time. Tell me what I did wrong.
I didn't make an accusation. I answered a question.
No, but you said
I didn't make an accusation.
Yes, you did. You said I asked inappropriate questions.
I said maybe.
Well, it's a half an accusation because you threw maybe in.
It's an ish.
So
maybe-ish.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to ask you some questions, and I'd like for you to be honest. Do you believe America is a great country?
Yes.
Inappropriate question.
Whoa! Jumped on it.
Do you believe America has been a force for good in its 200-plus years?
Yes.
Do you believe that America can compare to any other country in its record of liberating people and promoting freedom?
No.
Do you believe America has a great destiny ahead?
Yes.
Of the two parties that vie for the power struggle in this country, which party has been responsible for the most good?
Conservative Republicans.
Okay. You doing Republicans, and that's fine. Conservative Republicans. Okay. Why then are you so down? And why then does 90% of everything that comes out of your mouth that's negative is it geared toward the Republican Party when the Republican Party has clearly been on the front lines of promoting liberty, the free market, and freedom in the face of a very powerful anti-freedom, pro-control party, the Democrats? Why does your wrath always turn to the Republicans?
Because I hold people accountable. I like to do that.
That makes no sense.
Okay.
You got one guy who wants to take away your cash. He wants to tell you how much you're going to make. He wants to kill your babies. He wants to euthanize the elderly. I mean, everything that's bad, this guy wants to do. And here's a guy, well, he's promoting the free market, but he wants to give old people free prescription drugs. I'm going to hold this guy accountable. This guy gets a pass. Makes no sense.
I want the Republican platform to succeed. And so to do that, I have to vote for people and support people who are supportive of that platform.
I don't think I've ever heard you say a disparaging word about a Democrat.
Well,
She just said something about Shannon Moore.
that's true. I can't. Why would I have nothing to do with that party. I will never vote for anybody in that party. I will never sympathize with their platform. Why would I even have anything to do with that? Why would I even talk about them? I don't give them the time of day.
It's like a mother scolding her children.
That's right. I love them. That's so true.
Even though it's 2 against 1, I'm not afraid here. I'm not getting intimidated. Now, if Glenn jumps in, it'll be a little more difficult.
You know.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I just think this country has just been so incredibly amazing. George Bush, the senior, he liberated 50 million people with the help of the military. With
the no
military.
new taxes guy?
No, George Bush, the latest George Bush. George Bush
Jr.
I said senior. I'm sorry. He cut taxes in a dramatic fashion, just like Ronald Reagan did. Ronald Reagan ran the Cold War. George Bush, number 2, liberated 50 million people. These are great men. And this is a great country. And I understand you're wanting perfection. I understand you're wanting right down the line everything you believe they've got to believe without exception, without an ounce of syllable, not a syllable off in what your doctrine is. I understand that that's what you want. But when you give up hope on the Republican Party, which you clearly have, because on Friday or Thursday when you said, I hope they don't squander it because they never come through.
I didn't say that.
That's exactly what you said. I will play the clip for you. Actually, I edited it. I will grab that clip and play it today. You said but not what was the word? Not squander.
Follow through?
No. Gloat. She said, well, I don't want them to gloat until they come through because they never come through.
No, I said it's gloating if they make all these promises and then do not follow through.
Because they never come through.
No, I never said never.
I promise you, I heard the words because they never come through.
I don't think I
yes,
said
you
that.
Did.
I'm pretty sure I didn't say that.
Just like you said it about the wall. They're not gonna build that wall. They've never built that wall. They're never gonna build that wall.
Well, now that's true.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Now that is true.
That deep cynicism and despair and lack of faith in a movement that has revolutionized this world. What would this world be like if it was not for the Republican Party?
And
let me finish, please. What would this world be like? Well, the Soviet Union would be in charge. There'd be no great America. Israel would be a pile of dust. The Republican Party, man, I'm proud to be a Republican. No, it's not a perfect party, just like America's not a perfect country, but it's the best thing going. And the Tea Party has done squat. I'm telling you, squat. And now that they're beginning to merge with the libertarians, they're even going backwards. Because you cannot tell me that a movement that says I don't care about a baby inside a mother's womb is important, a movement that says marriage is irrelevant, a movement that says let drugs flow through the street, a movement that says we should have no open borders. And the Tea Party and the Libertarians are beginning to become one. And I think it's going backwards. So this idea of let's go after the Republicans, I just don't understand.
No, the Tea Party
is not. And the reason that it bothers me so much, and please let me finish, and I'll give you the rest of the show. The reason it bothers me so much is because you are so singularly focused on putting down the Republican Party. It is your jihad. It is your sole purpose. And I'm sitting there thinking, why does she keep going after the Dan Sullivans of the world when it's the Mark Begich is the problem? And the Mark Fishes and the Joe Millers hadn't done squat. And frankly, I don't know that they ever will do squat until they stop this conspiracy and this, paranoia, and somebody bumped into my car and somebody set me up to do that. A trooper pulled me over because my taillight was out, but that was political. All this nonsense that they delve into, it's like they're not grown-ups. When I see a Dan Sullivan or a Sean Parnell or Dan Sullivan the mayor, I see a grown-up. I don't see these crazy, wild conspiracy, Rand Paul, Joe Miller, Mark Fish types. They mean nothing to me because they're just all talk, and half the talk is crazy. I'm finished.
You give me someone who will talk about the Constitution and will refer to the Constitution, and I'll listen. And what I hear coming out of specifically Joe Miller's mouth is all Constitution. you ask him a question. He says, let's see what the Constitution has to say about that. That is what is important to me. I feel the same way as you do about your talking about the Tea Party. You talk about the Tea Party with such disgust and really, frankly, hate that it's a turnoff.
I didn't accuse you of hate.
Well,
why do you call me hate?
Because I can sit here and I can discuss this, but when you talk about the Tea Party, you just spew a real strong dislike for them. And
so you're retracting the hate?
Well, you call them, prideful.
Are you retracting the hate word?
Okay, sure. Yes.
Oh,
maybe that was a strong word. So dislike. You strongly
dislike. If it'll make me feel better, you'll retract it.
No. Dan, you strongly dislike the Tea Party, do you not?
Fagan, Biegel, and Monty.
Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. A retired Anchorage teacher has pleaded not guilty to the sexual abuse of a minor. A story from Ann Kenda.
73-year-old David Schwantes, a longtime teacher at Mount Spur Elementary and other schools, pleaded not guilty to accusations that he abused a boy from 1988 to 1998. Investigators are now looking through his entire teaching history to see if there are allegations from others. The former Alaska Teacher of the Year was booked into the Anchorage jail awaiting further court action in the case. Prior to his arrest, he reportedly had no criminal history.
A public safety building in the southwest village of Manicota was dedicated this weekend to the memory of village public safety officer Thomas Muddle, who was killed in March 2013 when he went to help a suicidal man. Finally, University of Alaska Fairbanks embarking on a mining workforce training program thanks to an $8 million Labor Department grant. That's your Hot Talk News update.
Partly sunny today, though we will see a rain or snow shower in spots, high of 44. Mostly cloudy tonight with a bit of rain mixed with snow early with little or no accumulation, a low 32. Then a little rain for tomorrow, high 42. A shower around tomorrow night before temperatures fall below freezing, low 31. Then sun and some clouds Wednesday, high 42. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Oh, yeah, it's game day. I love football. He could go all the way. He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown. Man, that's why I love football. There's nothing better. Well, except maybe free buffalo wings from Sicily's. Call 333-8000 right now and ask for free buffalo wings. Buy any extra large 2-topping pizza at regular price and get 10 free buffalo wings. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Enjoy hot, fresh pizza and Italian food. Call 333-8000 or order online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza. 333-8000.
Football is back, and the best place to get a bite to eat and an ice-cold beer while watching the game is Flat Top Pizza and Pool downtown. Win prizes while sampling our new football menu featuring wings, nachos, and of course, pizza. Come down to Flat Top Pizza and Pool for Monday Night Football every Monday for your chance to win weekly prizes and the grand prize, a trip for 2 to Kona, Hawaii to watch the big game February 1st at Humpy's Big Island Ale House. And that's just the beginning of what we have in store for you. Monday Night Football at Flat Top Pizza and Pool is the place to be for all your football action.
There's a lot of so-called experts out there claiming to have the key to success in business for a price. Are you ready for real business advice you can trust without a fee? Then don't miss Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt. Advice from people in the know. Technology, finance, taxes, and more. Business people helping business people take their skills and services to the next level. Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt. Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. on Hot Talk, KOAN, 95.1 FM and 1080 a.m.
Local news, weather, and the Dan Fagan Glen Biegel Show on Hot Talk, KOAN. Brought to you by Connect Country Liquor. With 4 convenient locations in the Valley and Talkeetna, you won't find a better selection.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player.
An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian.
A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States.
Maybe an astronaut or,
an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything. From auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Do you remember that Beatles song? If the rain comes, they'll run and hide their heads. You know which one I'm talking about. Well, if that's you and you're inside your home or office, it's time to call Earhart Roofing. Call Earhart Roofing for all your roofing needs. Flat or pitched, large or small, Earhart Roofing will do the job quickly, and they'll do it right. Earhart Roofing, big enough to serve you and still small enough to care. Call 345-5555. That's 345-5555. You're on with Fagan and Biegel.
On KVNT.
Beagle. Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m. The Talk of the Valley. KVNT.
6:35 on a Monday morning, the 10th of November. Welcome to Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. Broadcasting on KOAN, KVNT, our number 569-1080. We're also streaming video and audio on danfagan.us. Glenn, I want you to
moderate.
No. Mediate.
Mediate. Okay.
But let me just say one last thing, and then we're
Wait, I thought I was getting the rest of the show.
I'm going to say one last thing, then you get the rest of the show.
Okay.
Then Glenn mediates. How long have you been paying attention? 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 6 years?
Paying attention?
Yeah.
No, since 2003.
Okay, so about 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
You go to your little Tea Party meetings, they spew Constitution, Constitution, Constitution. Republicans are bad, Republicans are bad. Ronald Reagan will go back at 150 years from now. We'll look at Ronald Reagan in the same way we look at Abraham Lincoln. He won the freaking Cold War. See, I knew I'd get a reaction from you. He won the Cold War. Didn't fire a shot. He's one of the greatest presidents ever. George W. Bush, pretty close. Liberated 50 million people. Exploded the growth of the economy with his tax cuts. Yes, he gave free prescription drugs to seniors. At the time that he did that, seniors were spending anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 a month for prescriptions. It totally negated their Social Security check. All right, if that's the worst thing he's ever done, I can forgive him for that. These are two great men who have revolutionized this planet. And all you hear from Tea Party folks like you, no faith. I had somebody call me this week and said, man, Bonnie's so negative. I said, what do you mean? And I didn't even realize. I said, every time you talk about the Republican Party, she comes down on them like, oh, I don't believe they haven't done this. Oh, they'll never do this. They'll never do that. And that's why my buttons get pushed so much. You say, I put my faith in God. I don't put my faith in men. Well, that's a nice thing. But I put my faith in a movement. And the movement right now that's done the most good in this country and on this planet in the last 100 years is the Republican Party. The Ted Cruz's of the world, the Newt Gingrich's of the world, the George Bushes of the world. And that constant, they're not Joe Miller, I don't accept them mantra that you spew, it absolutely drives me nuts because I cannot stand hopelessness. I'm done.
Okay. First of all, hold on, Glenn. 1 second, please.
I don't exactly know what my job is here, so because I don't know what mediate means. So you just go
First
ahead.
of all, I have never attended a Tea Party meeting. I can honestly say that. Second of all, I think George Bush will actually go down as one of the best presidents we've ever had. And so I don't agree with, a lot of Tea Party folks because of that, maybe. Third, I mean, we agree on pretty much everything, I think, Dan, right? Life, limited government, lower taxes.
Except for your unrelenting skepticism about the Republican Party.
Like yours with the Tea Party.
Tea Party they've not done anything. They've not been
I
in
would
power.
totally disagree with that. Because
What have they done?
Well, it's not about what they've done or not done. The president is scared of them. We matter. The Tea Party matters. Mitch McConnell can't stand them, just like you. So, I mean, obviously we, as the Tea Party, are a formidable force, or else people wouldn't care what we think. We agree on so many things on the Republican platform. It's these Republicans that I will hold accountable who go to D.C. and Juneau. What does that mean?
You're going to hold them accountable. What have you done?
I will give them my vote, or I won't.
Hold a Dan Sullivan accountable. This is a man.
I'm a voter. I matter. And if he goes to Washington and he gives in on a whole bunch of things, like say like he did with minimum wage, if he goes there and he gives in on amnesty or gay marriage or any of these, not balancing the budget and financing all these programs that we don't need. If he goes there and does that, I'm going to hold him accountable, and I'm not going to give him my vote, and I'm going to search for someone who can take his place, and I'm going to support that person. It's the Republicans who, why is that a bad thing to say? These Republicans, for some reason that really gets under your skin, but it's those kinds of people who go there and give on, the gay marriage, and they go for the stricter gun laws even because of somebody's emotion. It's those kinds of people that I'm going to hold accountable, and I'm going to find somebody who I can support. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the good thing about America, is that we can do that, and we shouldn't have to feel shamed because of it.
I don't hate the Tea Party. I love the Tea Party. I'm 100 times the Tea Party, or you are. No one's to the right of me on anything. I love the movement. I don't like the snippety little comments from the Facebook people who are Tea Partiers, who all they do is attack Republicans. That's what makes me so angry with them. Joe Miller did not run. When Joe Miller ran his campaign, it was like Barack Obama didn't even exist. He made Dan Sullivan and me Treadwell the targets. And I know he's running against them, but that's the way he always operates. It's never about the Democrats. It's always about the other Republicans.
Well, that's what you do in a primary. I mean, that's what everybody should do in a primary.
That's what he always does.
Yeah.
Anytime.
But he also...
You look at his website, it's always Republican.
At the last debate, he also did say that he would support me, Treadwell, or Dan Sullivan.
And he disappeared.
Because he said that's what was the important thing.
And
I'll tell you right now, though, that's what changed my mind. That's the only reason I ended up supporting Dan Sullivan and saying it on air as much as I did. Because Joe Miller said that we should support the Republican against Mark Begich, that was the important thing.
But Bonnie, just
getting rid of Mark Begich.
That you would, for 1/10 of a second, toy with the idea of not voting for Dan Sullivan against a guy like Mark Begich under any circumstance just shows how skewed your thinking is. I mean, the fact that anyone has to tell you the contrast between those two individuals shows you don't have the first clue what the Republicans all about.
Can I give you a word picture that came to me this weekend? I was thinking about it, and the Republicans and the Democrats are like playing tug of war. And the Republicans, they give a little bit just because they think they might let their cause win by doing that. The Democrats are constantly pulling. They never stop pulling. They don't give at all. They don't come across the line a little bit. They're constantly pulling, so that finally when the Republicans give too much, the Democrats win. And to me, I want somebody who's going to keep pulling on that rope, like Ted Cruz, like Mike Lee, and Rand Paul. You know, they're very staunch. I don't agree with them 100% of the time, but they talk Constitution.
What makes you think that Joe Miller won't keep pulling?
Joe Miller?
No, Dan Sullivan.
I don't know, and that's why I gave him my vote this time, so that he can earn it. And that's really all I have to say. I don't want to do this constant tug of war with you either, though. You know, that bothers me because I do think that we want the same thing. I just don't like to, name call. And I
just said that I hate.
No, and I took it back. And I took it back.
No, you said if you want me to take it back, or I'll take it back, if something like that. You didn't take it back.
I'm sorry, Dan.
569-1080 is the number. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie, broadcasting on KOAN, KVNT, also streaming on the internet, danfagan.us. Glen Biegel will mediate right after this, 644.
Join the conversation.
A. To many, it's just 130 square feet of publicly allotted tarmac. Unless you own a 2014 Mercedes-Benz CLA. With its muscular, seductive look and distinctive diamond block grille, that parking space is transformed into a stage that showcases to others what groundbreaking style can be. And as you pull away, thanks to the turbocharged inline-4 engine, parking space 105A transforms again. This time into a launching pad. See the world differently. See it in a CLA from Mercedes-Benz, whose vehicles retain their value better than any other premium brand, according to ALG. Get the 2014 CLA 254 Matic starting at just $31,900.
MSRP for a 2014 CLA 254 Matic excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, while availability and actual dealer price may vary. Some equipment described as optional. See dealer for details.
Mercedes-Benz of Anchorage. The best or nothing.
Trailboss Solutions is your local award-winning, nationally recognized construction and remodel firm. From handyman services to kitchen design and remodel to custom home construction, Trailboss Solutions has the experienced professionals to take your project from initial design through completion, on time and on budget. Trailboss Solutions is the only call for all your construction, design, and remodel needs. Please visit us on the web at trailboss-solutions.com or contact Trailboss Solutions Direct at 646-1403.
Hey, if you think all you need to know about beer is how to pop the top off the can, go to worldclassbeer.com. There's a whole world of beer out there, and worldclassbeer.com can help you navigate it. Learn the difference between an ale and a lager at Beer U. Get descriptions of all the craft beers and learn why they're so different. And when you see one you'd like to try, the Beer Spy Locator can direct you to the closest store. Worldclassbeer.com, designed to help you get closer to your beer. Brought to you by the Odom Corporation. Always drink responsibly.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning on the Talk of the Valley, KVNT 92.5 FM.
All right, Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. All right, now Bonnie's mad. Now I've gone from me being mad to Bonnie being mad. Are you mad? KOAN, KVNT. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it. You don't know. I appreciate your passion. I appreciate your fervency. I appreciate your dedication to what you believe to be true. But I'm just trying to let's just expand it a little bit. And let's not be so single focused where if someone says the word Constitution, you're going to worship them. I mean, it's like it's so easy to win you over. Just talk about the Constitution. Well, you know what? I agree. Look at Barack Obama has trampled on the Constitution. George Bush hasn't. Ronald Reagan hasn't. Most Republicans don't want to trample the Constitution. And that's my problem with a guy like Joe Miller. He really does make the Republicans out as the enemy, and you fall for that. I mean, you fall for it hook, line, and sinker. And they're not the enemy. We're not the enemy. I'm proud to say I'm a Republican. I think the Republican Party offers the greatest hope for this nation.
Do you think that Anchorage, Alaska is the only place this is happening? Because it's not. It's happening all over the country. We specifically have friends in Tennessee who just went through this.
Did they give up too and not vote?
The Democrats, no.
They voted?
The Democrats ended up supporting a very, very liberal person in the Republican primary.
So did your Tea Party friends give up and not vote for the Republican?
I'm not sure how they voted. I know the one voted for himself. I mean, he obviously voted for himself. He wrote in himself. So I guess you would say he gave up.
Exactly.
But it literally was a very liberal Republican. She's literally Republican in name only.
I can't imagine.
So I'm just telling you that it's not happening just here in Alaska. It's all over the
place. When
you
got a guy like Dan Sullivan,
you have a lot of people, Republicans, who are now calling themselves conservatives only and wanting a conservative party.
Got a guy like Dan Sullivan who is a clear conservative, and you got.
I guess we'll see.
So, you see, that's it.
We
in a
will
nutshell.
see.
If we can pick a big spotlight and put it right on that sentence right there, I guess we'll see.
We'll have to see. I'm going to hold him accountable.
Unblemished record of being a conservative.
He practically helped Lisa Murkowski get in on the general election. He was part of that. You know that. So, I mean, we'll see how he does. And I hope he does well.
You want to mediate?
I guess.
We had a bunch of calls back on.
Yeah, I just very briefly, look, I don't. There are many movements inside, larger movements. The Republican Party is made up of several forces that are coming together to try and oppose a very unified Democrat Party that wants federal takeover of virtually every aspect of our lives. Today, the president, by the way, has suggested that the internet now be a public utility, a.k.a. the Democrats will control what's on it. If we want to survive as a republic that is free, and that has people who decide, I want the government in my life here, and I don't want it over here. Because right now, we're losing the ability to make that decision. There will be all of these forces of liberty, which will have to figure out how to work together. Now, in some places, Texas, for instance, the Tea Party is going to be very strong. They picked that candidate. Ted Cruz is there because the Tea Party said, you know what? We don't want a liberal Republican. We want a conservative Republican. The establishment party said, well, too bad. We're going to give you a liberal Republican. Ted Cruz came in. The establishment party said, who's this guy? Oh, well, he's our senator now. And he's the greatest senator we have, frankly.
Do you think Dan Sullivan's a liberal Republican?
Not at all. Why did you say that, by the way?
Well, because I don't think many. I think there's Olympia.
I'm talking about movements within the party, and you bring in Dan Sullivan when I was talking about Ted Cruz. Why did you do that?
Well, because I think most Republicans are not liberal.
Because you go to the extreme. I'm talking about Olympia Snowe, Susan Collins, right. John McCain, Lisa Murkowski. Okay, so these are. But I didn't bring Dan Sullivan in at all. You brought that in. I just want everybody to understand. Dan brought Dan Sullivan in. I never brought Dan Sullivan in.
Okay. Oh, okay. Because you would never consider him liberal.
Never.
But my point is, when we say, they elected a Tea Party conservative in Texas, they didn't want a liberal Republican. My first thought was, before I asked that question, was, well, most conservatives aren't liberal, or most Republicans aren't liberal. And then I immediately thought, what do you maybe he thinks Dan Sullivan's liberal. So that's
where your mind goes. Well, that's an indication about what goes on in your mind,
but I wanted
not what goes on in my mind.
I know, but I wanted to understand from you what you thought. So you would say that most Republicans are conservative.
I would say most Republicans are conservative. Yeah,
Brian,
and far more conservative than Democrats.
Would you say most Republicans are conservative? That's my point right there.
I don't know. I really don't know.
That's my point.
That's okay, though.
No, it's not okay.
No. Do you know why? Because we had 4 ballot measures here in Anchorage, and you say that we have far more Republicans than Democrats in this state. And yet we have all these things passing that are very liberal, frankly. So, no, I do wonder.
Well, I'm talking about candidates. I'm talking about people who actually get elected to office.
Oh, I thought you were talking about voters.
Well, do you think most Republicans elected to office these days are conservative?
No.
Okay, so that's my point. There's no distinction there.
Yeah.
That's my whole point. That's why anytime a Republican's mentioned, cynicism, hopelessness, skepticism comes out of her.
Well,
skepticism, absolutely.
Here's what the Democrats want. They want our people on our side to give up. They want people in our coalition to say, not worth it. And, at some point, for instance, on the Hobby Lobby decision, if you voted for the Hobby Lobby decision, I can't vote for you because you voted to take away my religious liberty. And that's evil, and it's wrong, and that is a go, no-go decision. So I understand that, there are going to be parts of our coalition that are just going to say, that's not liberty in any frame, shape, form, whatever. And maybe if that's the liberty that you want, where Hobby Lobby, basically the decision said, and the senators who voted against the Hobby Lobby decision said, if you're in the marketplace, you do not have a right to have a faith if the faith disagrees with the Democrats.
Do you believe most Republicans come on the right side of Hobby Lobby decision, Bonnie?
One of our senators did not.
Do you believe that most Republicans...
Two of our senators did not.
Bonnie, do you believe that most Republicans come down on the right side of the Hobby Lobby decision?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
I can't, but you're
going to
positive comment. You are going to face the same
Party.
decision here in 2 years
I don't
that
think
I
I've
had
heard
to
you
do
say anything positive about Republicans.
just now.
Well, that wasn't about the Republican Party. That was about Republicans.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was about Republicans. Yeah, and individual Republicans, and in large majority,
so
that is the party who's going to defend
You're going to vote for Lisa Murkowski here in 2 years. When
if I have a more conservative candidate, I'll vote for the conservative
candidate. When she wins the primary, because I believe she will, then you're going to have a really tough decision.
No, if it's between Lisa Murkowski and a Mark Begich, I'll go with Lisa Murkowski.
So you will vote for her.
Well, of course.
So she can go in there and keep on doing what she's been doing, which is practically voting the same way he did.
If that's my only choice, I have to.
It's not your only choice.
Well, there's only two that can win, Begich and Murkowski. I'm going to go with the more conservative.
Well, then we will not have to have this discussion in 2 years because I will not vote for her. I will not. I will tell you right now. I will not vote for her.
I understand it's more about you and your feelings.
So the Republican Party had better put somebody up because she's not going to get the conservative Republicans' support.
Well, Begich will win. Isn't that what you want?
No, I want the Republican Party to put somebody and support somebody monetarily who is going to support my ideals.
The Republican Party doesn't do that. I hope people realize that is not the function of the Republican Party.
The CPACs need to put somebody up who's going to...
will have to do it. Individual voters will have to do it. The Republican Party has no decision whatsoever about who runs for office, about who's considered a Republican, about what they believe. They have no ability to force them to believe one thing or another. It's up to the voters. The voters have to decide these things, and I would tend to agree with you. If Mark Begich runs against Lisa Murkowski, two pro-abortion legislators, then Mark will win. I think that's basically what will end up happening, if that's the way things turn out. We don't even know that he's lost the Senate.
I know.
By the way. Anyway.
569-1080. Joe, you're on.
Hey, I've been listening to you taking Bonnie to task over holding Republicans accountable. And
that's not what I'm taking her to task for. I'm taking her to task for any time the word Republican is mentioned, she sneers and hisses and boos.
Well, you know what? Here's what I see happening across the country. Anytime the Tea Party is mentioned, almost every Republican out there sneers and hisses and boos. That's what I hear, and that's what I see happening. You talk about, unite the party and bring people together. That's not bringing anybody together any better than the Tea Party wanting to hold, rhinos accountable.
Well, let me ask you this, Joe. Let's just stick with Alaska because that's where we live. Are you a Tea Party person?
I certainly lean in that direction.
Did you vote for Dan Sullivan for Senate?
Yes.
Okay. And that's where I'm hoping most people in the Tea Party are. But Bonnie had to think hard about it. And some Tea Partiers didn't do it. They just sat out and basically gave up. That's my problem. When the Tea Party gets so out of whack that actually goes after the conservative in the race Just out of pride.
It's the Republicans that have given up on everything because they won't hold out for the best. They only say, okay, good enough.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you calling. I got a break here, but thank you. 6:58. I appreciate you calling. I got a break here, but thank you. 6:58.
You live in Alaska, so it's cold, and it's going to get colder. That's why you need an award-winning heating company to keep you and your family warm all winter. You need Moore Heating. Moore Heating is Anchorage's premier Lennox dealer. They can provide you with the best pricing on all Lennox equipment and installations, including the Lennox 98% efficient furnace, the best, most efficient product of its kind on the market. And Lennox high-efficiency furnaces offer one of the best warranties on the market, with 10 years warranty on parts. And this month, right now, Moore Heating is offering a 10-year warranty on labor as well. So whether you need a new filter for your furnace, a new wood stove for your home or cabin, or information on an entirely new energy-efficient heating system, you need Moore Heating. Stop by and ask about this month's specials. 1801 Dowling Road, or call 561-1500. In the Valley, 376-1500. Remember the name, Moore Heating, because it's going to get colder.
Listen online at 1080KOAN.com. Hot Talk 95.1 FM, 1080 AM. KOAN, Anchorage.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. Hackers have gone to the post office. A cyber attack on the U.S. Postal Service might have compromised employees, their names and addresses, social security numbers, and other info. And customers who dialed the postal call center may have had their phone numbers, email, and other info taken. The FBI and other agencies are investigating. The Washington Post reports that this hours after the president went to Beijing.
The United States welcomes the rise of a prosperous, peaceful, and stable China.
He's at an Asian Economic Summit. On the sidelines, he did have a brief exchange with Russian President Putin. Relations, of course, remain cool over Moscow's meddling in Ukraine. The president's also called on the FCC to do more regulating Internet providers. Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern explains live from Washington.
There should be no tolls on the information superhighway. President Obama urging the FCC to prevent so-called Internet fast lanes.
Cable companies can't decide which online stores you can shop at or which streaming services you can use. And they can't let any company pay for priority over its competitors.
President Obama is asking regulators to reclassify the Internet as a public utility as it considers net neutrality rules that would prevent companies from cutting deals with Internet providers for quicker content speeds. Dave.
Jared, and the Arab versus Israeli tension gets thicker with two more attacks today. Fox News Radio's Emily Wither live in Jerusalem.
A 14-year-old Israeli girl has been killed in a stabbing attack in the West Bank. The suspected Palestinian attacker was shot and wounded. Two other Israelis were stabbed at a bus stop outside a Jewish settlement not far from Jerusalem. Earlier in the day, a Palestinian stabbed an Israeli soldier at a train station in Tel Aviv. Both attacker and victim are being treated in hospital. The stabbings are just the latest in a wave of attacks here, as tensions between Israelis and Palestinians are high. The Israeli Prime Minister is vowing a tough response to the violence. Dave?
Emily, on Wall Street, the Dow's up 25, the Nasdaq's gaining 16. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Big Green Fever savings are back at John Deere. Save on all tractors from the 1 family to the Big 6 Series with 0% financing for 60 months. Or big cash discounts. Plus, get $1,500 off a 1 family tractor with the purchase of 2 implements. Offer ends February 2nd, 2015, subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Visit your local John Deere dealer today to take advantage of special savings going on now. Find out more at myjohndeeredealer.com.
Dentist office, may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to cancel my teeth whitening appointment.
May I ask why?
I found a teeth whitener that works in 5 minutes that I can do from home. It's called Power Swabs.
Hi, I'm John Greenhut, and if you want to whiten your teeth 2 shades in 5 minutes and 6 shades in 7 days, then try Power Swabs. Just swab your teeth and you're done. Try Power Swabs risk-free by calling 1-800-663-1592. That's 1-800-663-1592. 1-800-663-1592.
Well, howdy, I'm Nick Worthington. Ford, giant Worthington Ford.
Home of over 1,000 vehicles and 700 4x4s. That's why we're 4x4 headquarters.
Right now, pick any vehicle on the lot And you can make no payments until next year. Take a look.
Check out these 4x4s. A Chevy Trailblazer, just $59.50. And a Ford Explorer for $99.50.
Here's a Ford Expedition, just $10,900. And here's a Chevy 1500, just $12,900.
And with over 1,000 vehicles to choose from, you're sure to find one that's just right for you. Plus, no payments until next year.
And we can finance anyone we want to. We have our own finance company.
And don't forget your trade-in. We need your trade-in.
So push, pull, or drag it in, and you'll get top dollar. Now's the time. Head into Giant Worthington Ford on Gamble.
07 Explorer Q1111, 07 1500 SQ1995A, 06 Trailblazer Q1336A, 08 Expedition Q1688. On approved credit, subject to prior sales. See dealer for details. Ends 11/13/2014.
If you're ready for the movies, there's just one place to go. Check out moviesacre.com. It's showtime, movie times, previews, and more. Get tickets, win stuff, lots of information to explore. Great restaurants. Now you'll know just where to go. Before and after every show. Check out.
Brew Specialist. How is it they've been voted the best shop in Anchorage not once but 6 times? Well, it's pretty simple. They offer the best warranty in the business. If they work on your Subaru, you're going to get a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on both parts and labor. That's unheard of. A&A The Shop deals exclusively with Subarus, and they also offer $35 oil changes. All their technicians are ASE certified. Call A&A The Shop for an appointment. 562-3919 in Anchorage and 696-2096 in Eagle River.
All my life, I've enjoyed hunting and fishing. But as I got older, it made it harder to enjoy the Alaskan outdoors. Thanks to Chugesh Chiropractic, I'm back on the stream enjoying Alaska.
Besides aligning the spine, we also deal with the musculature and the nervous system of the body. To do that, we not only adjust the spine, but we also balance muscles along with various therapies and deep tissue therapy. We help bring the body back to normal function.
Do you remember that Beatles song? If the rain comes, they'll run and hide their heads. You know which one I'm talking about. Well, if that's you, and you're inside your home or office, it's time to call Earhart Roofing. Call Earhart Roofing for all your roofing needs. Flat or pitched, large or small, Earhart Roofing will do the job quickly, and they'll do it right. Earhart Roofing, big enough to serve you, and still small enough to care. Call 345-5555. That's 345-5555. Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. KOAN.com.
The good news is 99.9% of the audience agrees with Brian that I'm being an ass, or that I'm being mean, not that I'm being an ass. So the good news for you is that people are listening, cheering you on, thinking, wow, that Dan Fagan is really a jerk.
Well, I think you can be passionate and you can disagree with somebody, but not be personal. You know, not make it personal. And I think you make it personal for some reason with me. I don't understand it because, you know.
You think you make it personal with me?
No. I think I can sit here and I can have a decent conversation and disagree without getting upset.
So when you said I hate Tea Partiers, that's not personal.
Well, sometimes I would think that sometimes the audience thinks that maybe you hate Tea Partiers with the way that you talk.
But you accused me of hating Tea Partiers. Was that getting personal?
I think that has crossed my mind that maybe you do. Maybe I should ask you. Do you hate Tea Partiers?
No,
okay, then I will never again say that you hate Tea Partiers.
So are you saying that when you accused me of that was getting personal?
I think yes. I think that I thought that.
But you actually accused me of it. You didn't just think it. You said it on the radio. Was that getting personal?
Yes.
So you were personal.
Do you not hate Tea Partiers?
No, I don't hate Tea
Okay, then we don't ever have to go there again.
Yeah, but my point is, when you accused me of hating Tea Partiers, at that moment, were you getting personal?
I don't know what you mean by getting personal.
You're the one who brought up getting personal. You accused me of getting personal during arguments, and now I'm trying to ask you, is when you accused me of hating, frankly, anything, but hating Tea Partiers, I'm asking you, was that getting personal?
Yes.
So did you get personal when you said that?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you feel better now?
See, now that's the kind of stuff that bothers me, because that's a point. There's a legitimate point to make, but you don't give a rat's ass that you made it, because anytime you do something wrong and then you say, do you feel better now? That's not a hey, I'm sorry I said that. when you say, do you feel better now, that's, yeah, I got personal, and you better like it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I am.
I'm sure you
No,
really
no,
mean
I
that.
am, and
Yeah.
I'll learn, and I will learn. Maybe even
You don't like to admit you're
I
wrong.
will learn on
do you?
air here.
You don't like to
No,
admit you're wrong.
actually, I admit I'm wrong all the time.
Yeah, but you don't like it.
Does anybody? Do you like to admit you're wrong?
I love it.
Okay,
I do.
Well, I will get there one of these days. But right now, I'm probably not there yet. But I was wrong to attack you that way.
Good. Any calls? 569-1080, Brian.
What do you mind me say? I don't find the I don't know. The discussion's fine, I suppose. You know, you are indicating Bonnie feels this or that way. You put words in her mouth. I think that's wrong. I would be defensive if you kept putting words in my mouth and said, well, you think this, and I don't think this. For instance, you said that she goes around in Tea Party groups and, you know, I don't know, you characterize a bunch of things she'd actually never done.
No, I was wrong about that. I thought that's how she formed her opinion. I thought maybe, you know, she wasn't paying attention. All of a sudden she went to a Tea Party meeting, and all of a sudden now she's paying attention. But that's not how she got engaged in the project.
No, you want to know how I got started? I actually was
So I'm sorry for that, and I was wrong about that.
I was actually in the Matsu Republican Women's Club, and that's how I got started. I was a Republican woman for quite a few years, and then I got out of it because there was so much infighting, even back then, and I didn't want to be a part of it. And now they have 2 separate groups, I hear. So.
Well, they basically, the new leadership in the party went around and deposed, is that what you say, when you remove people from office?
So.
And so they made up some rules that said, well, if you haven't met...
Is this the Russ Millett thing?
Yeah, no, it's after that. But Bruce Schulte went out to the Valley, and there were a bunch of people out there who were, I think they were still supporting Russ or something like that. But anyway, they started removing heads of the party out in the Valley. So yeah, there have been a lot of back and forth here. I'm surprised the Republicans are getting along as well as they are. That would be my take on it.
Don't you think Begich unified this?
I do, absolutely, I do. And Obama unifies us as well. And Obama and Begich are so close on just about everything. I mean, Begich can vote this way or that way as long as it wouldn't, you know, I mean, if he was the deciding vote on a very serious issue, as he was on Obamacare, obviously, Begich is going to shut up. He's not going to say one word. He's not going to ask for anything. He's not going to beg for anything. He's not going to argue on behalf of Alaska. So we know who Begich is. Begich is Reed. Begich is Obama. And, yeah, I totally think that Begich unified us. Obama unified us. Our paychecks, which are declining, unlike our union friends, who I guess massively voted for Begich and Obama, they are getting smaller and smaller. It's harder and harder to live in this country. So I think a lot of things are unifying us. You know what's surprising, and one of the greatest stories that's come out, by the way, actually, I think I saw it in Fairbanks Newsminer, young people in Alaska departing from what happened in 2010, 2012, and 2014 in other places, young people in Alaska voted Republican.
Yeah, well, they have no jobs.
They have no
Living
jobs.
in their basements of the parents.
Yeah, I mean, the cost of education through the roof,
Yeah.
the cost of health care
It's
through the roof,
school
the cost
debt.
of energy through the roof, the cost of food through the roof. They're fine, and now they can't get a decent job,
even if they have degrees.
People do not know this, but I looked at a statistic that said the average four-year person with a four-year degree makes $27,500.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Can you imagine going and getting a $100,000 degree and getting out of school and say, "Oh, great, now I'm going to make less than 30 grand"? How could you possibly have a family? How could you possibly afford housing or anything else up here?
Yeah.
So anyway, they're getting the message, and I find that that's very hopeful. Look, Mark Begich spent $7 trillion of their money.
Yeah.
For what? What did a young person get out of Mark Begich?
From 10 trillion to 12 trillion, 17 trillion in debt.
And not only that,
6
but
years.
people have to realize that that is 100% publicly held debt. It's not a transfer from one program to the other or anything like the other fake fraudulent things we used to do.
Right.
This is real debt that we actually printed or minted or whatever, however you want to say it, and it's going to have to be paid back.
Glenn, I'm starting to employ some humility in my heart now, and I'm beginning to see things clearer. It's amazing when you soften your heart, how you can just all of a sudden stuff just starts opening up in front of you. You know, Brian, I'm like you. This stuff kicks me in the gut, man. When I see Bill Walker went in or some of these guys, it just kicks me in the gut. It's personal with me. It's such a big deal to me because I understand the evil and tyranny. I understand when you take away freedom, the devastation you'll bring to this nation and this planet. My nieces and nephews, you know, they're not going to have a life if the Mark Begages of the world and the Barack Obamas continue to have their way. It's a big deal, you know. And to me, if we don't start uniting and rallying together and stop snipping at each other's heels, those of us who aren't part of the tyranny movement, we're never going to win this thing. And that's why when I hear people, just all they do is bash the Republicans. No, we got to unite. We got to get together. We got to stay as one. Because these guys, we're not going to make it 25 years with these guys in charge.
We'll be France. We'll be lucky if we're France. We'll be a huge France. That
Bonnie,
doesn't matter.
I take it out on you. I shouldn't. I know there are a lot of people who believe like you do. I know you're sincere. I know you want to see more strict constitutionalism out of the Republicans. I agree. I want it too. But it's just we got to unite. We got to come together on this. That's my whole point. 714. My whole point. 714.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Give him a call. 569-1080. KOAN.
Attention Anchorage! Do you believe in the power of free live music? If so, we need your help. Anchorage has been selected as a semifinalist in the Levette AMP Music Grant Award Contest. This grant program will give top selected cities up to $25,000 to produce an outdoor free concert series in 2015. But we won't win without your help and vote. Sign up at amp.levettepavilions.org before November 30th or visit anchoragedowntown.org to follow the link to vote and help us win. The concert series will be produced by Anchorage Downtown Partnership with the help of the Alaska State Council on the Arts. It will feature local talent and help bring up bands from the lower 48 and beyond. Please help spread the word and rally your family, friends, colleagues, and neighbors to sign up and vote for Anchorage. Remember, we're competing against other cities in the lower 48, so every vote counts. The program ends November 30th. Brought to you by Anchorage Downtown Partnership and Alaska Integrated Media.
Philanthropy. It does such big things in our community and state. Help honor outstanding Alaskans for their philanthropy at the National Philanthropy Day in Alaska Luncheon on Friday, November 21st at the Denina Center. Visit afpalaska.net. Philanthropy. Big word, big state, big impact. Presented by the Association of Fundraising Professionals, Alaska Chapter, and this station.
Hi, Tom Bodette. You know, mobile phones have come a long way. You can do anything now, like book a room at Motel 6 by logging on to motel6.com through your web browser. You can even pay using Google Wallet through the site. Pretty nifty stuff. Mobile phones are also great for taking selfies, but keep it clean, folks. That stuff always gets out. Or, so I've heard. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 10 KOAN. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. The Talk of the Valley. KVNT.
717, Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. You know, here's the thing. This movement that is in the midst of this country right now, ruining this country, or trying to ruin this country, is nothing new. FDR, back in the 1920s, wanted to pass an executive order that everything you earned over $250,000, 90% of it had to go to the government. Now, that's the movement. That movement is still here. It will get away with as much as we will allow it to get away. Brian, did you get on my Facebook page, the Dan Fagan Show Facebook page, my personal page, there's the architect of Obamacare on the clip. It's like a minute and a half. The architect of Obamacare, I forget his name, I'll grab it here in a second, basically admits that they pulled the wool over everybody's eyes with Obamacare, that it is a tax, that it is wealth redistribution. He's sitting on a panel, and they're talking about this. This is the movement. This is who these people are. They will get away with as much as you let them get away with. And unless you have, dare I say it, the Mitch McConnells of the world, who will say no. Listen to this now. The newly surfaced video, one of Obamacare's architects admits a lack of transparency helped the Obama administration and congressional Democrats pass Affordable Care Act. Jonathan Gruber's remarks, which was October of last year. Here's the quote: "Lack of transparency is a huge political advantage," he said, and basically calling it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. But basically, that was really critical for the thing to pass. Is that ready by any chance, Brian? Listen to this.
It's just, you can't do it politically. You just literally cannot do it. Okay? Transparent financing, unless I have transparent financing, also transparent spending. I mean, this bill was written in a tortured way to make sure CBO did not score the mandate as taxes. If CBO scored the mandate as taxes, the bill dies. Okay? So it's written to do that. In terms of risk-rated subsidies, if you had a law which said healthy people are going to pay in, it made explicit that healthy people pay in and sick people get money, it would not have passed. Okay, just like lack of transparency is a huge political advantage, and basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. But basically, that was really, really critical to getting the thing to pass. And it's the second best argument. Look, I wish Mark was right. We could make it all transparent. But I'd rather have this law than not. So it's kind of like his reporter story. Yeah, there's things I wish I could change, but I'd rather have this law than not.
Now, Bonnie, I don't know if you listened to any of that, but that's a confession. That's we fooled the American people, the foolish American voter.
It's more than a confession. It is a description of the Democrat Party.
That's right.
And
that's who they are.
B, and much, 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 much more important than that, if a Republican had ever said anything like this, I promise you, the media would play it every day. It would get into every race. Every person would have to answer for it. I will tell you this, though, by the way. There has been a question in my mind, a very, very deep and very important question I could never answer. Why didn't they want a Republican?
Who's they?
When they passed Obamacare, why didn't they want a Republican? Olympia Snowe wants universal health coverage.
Murkowski does, too.
Murkowski wants universal. What was the difference?
Well, I think that
and what it was they couldn't let these secrets, these lies, they couldn't let them out. We now know. All this time we've been wondering and just trying to figure out, are there differences between Democrats and Republicans? Yeah, you want to know what the biggest difference is? The media will never call the Democrat on the table. They will never call them on the carpet. This law was written in secret. This law did a whole bunch of ridiculous things nobody wanted. They could have never gotten away with. And the guy just admits every part of it. They depend on stupidity from their voters. They depend on complicity from the media. They depend on all these things, and he goes out and no transparency on fooling the CBO. It is their game plan.
Yeah, it's who they are.
Yeah, and without any of those, if any of those parts. So you want to know why there is such a deep and important difference going on here, because I could never figure it out between Democrats and Republicans and who voted on this law. Why just 60? Why not go for 65? Why not make it bipartisan? Why not give a little? So Olympia Snowe and Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski could come over. I could never figure it out. They couldn't reveal their lies because Democrats can keep a freaking secret.
There were 60 votes for Obamacare?
60, exactly.
Do you know how many are still in the Senate?
I think 29 are gone, 28. So that would mean
28 out of the 60 are hit the real jack.
Histoire.
Yeah.
Well, look, this is the worst law, which is what we found out. Every person's health care will be devastated and partially destroyed because of this law. If you're not paying $5,000 to $10,000 more per year, you as a family, then you are lucky, because most of the rest of people, as they find this law roll out, look, they transfer money from young to old. They transfer money from healthy to unhealthy. They transfer money from here to there and all over the place, and none of it's transparent, and all of it is a government takeover.
But that's my point for playing that clip is This is who we're up against.
Yeah.
They think we're stupid. They're playing us for the fool.
They know their voters are stupid.
They think we are idiots, and they're going to act accordingly. We've got to unite around these people. We got to stop biting each other at the heel.
As long as they don't give in. As long as they go for repeal. That's very important for people to go for repeal here.
569-1080. 569-1080. Tom, you're on.
Good morning.
Morning.
You're just talking about the Obamacare and all of the costs, but I look at it a little bit different. Here in Alaska, we have the evil empire that would be Providence Hospital that controls most things medical in the state of Alaska. You remember a couple of years ago, Fred Meyer says we're going to bring in nurse practitioners that can service people that just have a simple sore throat or something at the Fred Meyer stores. Who stopped that? Providence Hospital did.
Wow.
We have the statement of need here in the state of Alaska.
That's how they control things. They make you go through this process called the statement of need, rather than, gee, I think it'd be good if we help people at a Fred Meyer. I think that's a good business model. I'm going to do it. Now we have to have a statement of need.
I'm sad to say that my hero Ralph Samuels was complicit in that.
Yeah.
Right, and you look at Advantage Medical Lab here in town is a place where you can have your blood drawn and get basic information about what's going on in your body, right?
Yeah.
It's $40 to get a blood draw. If I go to my doctor's office and have my blood drawn there, it's $450.
Oh my gosh.
And my wife's an RN. She knows how to read that information coming, that report, and she can say, wait a minute, you have a problem here, go to the doctor.
So what's the solution?
But I don't need to go to the doctor most times, but once a year I have to go to the doctor.
So what's the answer here, Tom?
The answer is that we have to go down to Juneau and convince our legislature that they're making a huge mistake.
So Providence has too much power in the legislature, and they'll block any legislation that would promote more free market.
They've done so far.
The Providence has.
Yes, and there's a lot of other instances just like that, like the cab industry in Anchorage versus Uber.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different sacred cows that are protected by our legislature, by our assemblies, by our mayor, by our governor, by our legislators, senators and representatives. It's like the post office. We've known for 30 years, I've talked to Don Young, or 20 years, and said, what we really need to do is cut out Saturday delivery, need to do this, need to do that. And he says, yeah, I know that, but there's things in play that don't allow me to do that. So we give them an extra $2 billion a year, $4 billion a year that comes out of your and my pocket because it's uncomfortable for Don Young to do his job.
Well, he's a big union guy. So
but it's just ridiculous, Dan. Yeah. There's lots of jobs. I mean, in Anchorage, if you want a job, you got a job.
Yeah.
So why do we have to protect anybody? The free market will protect them.
Yeah.
When we open up, here's what I hope happens, by the way, Tom. When we open up the floodgates of our resource development, we've got to get rid of this president. We have to, I think the public, particularly young people, are getting the message, you know what, environmental scarism, that's really killing my job opportunities. I want a job first. I'm pretty sure we'll protect the environment as we go. I think, though, that as resource development unloads on the state of Alaska and we see it roll out across the state of Alaska, there will be less and less ability for the Democrats to argue that, and for some Republicans to argue that, you're going to kill this country if you don't protect these special groups of people and these special services. I think a lot of that will fall away.
I'm hoping so, Glenn, but we have the Red Dog mine up in Kotzebue that's been in operation for a long time.
Fish killers.
And
that's a cynicism. Or what did you call that? That's me. I'm kidding.
But if you're in Kotzebue and the surrounding villages prior to the Red Dog mine, you saw the utter despair that you see in other parts of Alaska. Now you go to Kotzebue and the surrounding villages, and you see prosperous places where people have jobs and they have a good living. And So why didn't we get that in Bristol Bay? It's because one guy has a lot of money, and the fishing industry, which is owned out of Seattle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even our people,
Amazing.
but they convinced the people in the Dillingham, Bristol Bay area to vote against the Pebble Mine. And it isn't even to protect their own interests. It's to protect Gillum's interests, and it's to protect the fishermen
It doesn't have
who
anything to do
actually
with
come
fish.
from Seattle.
That mine is not going to affect one fish. In fact, they actually will create more fishing habitat, more salmon stream habitat than they impact at all, and they'll make it better. So we'll have more fish.
You know what I did last night, Tom? Channel 2 broke down district by district how it voted in the Senate race.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised how many votes Dan Sullivan got in Lake Iliam, the Lake Clark area. It wasn't, the Begich won the area, but it wasn't a landslide. So there are plenty of people, I've got to believe, out there who are for Pebble Mine based solely on their vote for Dan Sullivan.
Well, and look at what Donlin Creek is going to, that mine is going to bring to the Bethel area. We're actually going to get natural gas to Bethel.
Wow.
Because of that mine. It's a game changer.
Yoo-hoo!
Well, it's a huge game changer.
Fantastic.
And people will shut their eyes to it.
Thank you, Tom.
Have a good
Appreciate
day.
it.
Take care.
729, Fagan, Biegel, Bonnie.
From the Fox Business Network, China is suspected of hacking into the computer networks of the U.S. Postal Service, compromising the data of more than 800,000 employees. That's according to the U.S. Postal Service. The breach was discovered in September, and it's under investigation by the FBI. Officials say the compromised information includes names, social security numbers, and addresses. Stocks are moving in a narrow range today after the Dow Industrials and S&P 500 hit all-time highs on Friday. At around 11 a.m. Eastern, the Dow Industrials are up 16 points. And Alibaba is trading higher today. Shares are up more than 1.5% ahead of Singles Day in China. The event has become the biggest day of online shopping in the world. Shares of other Chinese online retailers are also rallying. And Dean Foods is trading sharply higher after the milk distributor reported a narrower than expected third-quarter loss. Dean Foods has been hammered by rising milk prices. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jolene Kent.
Warning, you must have your solar system up and running by midnight December 31st, or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Energy prices are expected to increase by as much as 40% in the near future. Go solar now with no down payment, interest, or payments for a whole year. The door of opportunity is about to slam shut. Call 1-800-MY-SOLAR now for a free in-home assessment.
My home, my savings, 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. A retired Anchorage teacher has pleaded not guilty to the sexual abuse of a minor. That story from Ann Kendall.
73-year-old David Schwantes, a longtime teacher at Mount Spur Elementary and other schools, pleaded not guilty to accusations that he abused a boy from 1988 to 1998. Investigators are now looking through his entire teaching history to see if there are allegations from others. The former Alaska Teacher of the Year was booked into the Anchorage jail awaiting further court action in the case. Prior to his arrest, he reportedly had no criminal history.
A public safety building in the southwest village of Manicotah was dedicated this weekend to the memory of village public safety officer Thomas Muddle, who was killed in March 2013 when he went to help a suicidal man. Finally, University of Alaska Fairbanks embarking on a mining workforce training program thanks to an $8 million Labor Department grant. That's your Hot Talk News update.
Partly sunny today, though we will see a rain or snow shower in spots, high of 44. Mostly cloudy tonight with a bit of rain mixed with snow early with little or no accumulation, a low 32. Then a little rain for tomorrow, high 42. A shower around tomorrow night before temperatures fall below freezing, low 31. Then sun and some clouds Wednesday, high 42. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Football is back, And the best place to get a bite to eat and an ice-cold beer while watching the game is Flat Top Pizza and Pool downtown. Win prizes while sampling our new football menu featuring wings, nachos, and of course, pizza. Come down to Flat Top Pizza and Pool for Monday Night Football every Monday for your chance to win weekly prizes and the grand prize, a trip for two to Kona, Hawaii to watch the big game February 1st at Humpy's Big Island Ale House. And that's just the beginning of what we have in store for you. Monday Night Football at Flat Top Pizza and Pool is the place to be for all your football action. Local news, weather, and the Dan Fagan Glen Biegel Show on Hot Talk, KOAN. Brought to you by Connect Country Liquor, with 4 convenient locations in the Valley and Talkeetna. You won't find a better selection.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player.
An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian.
A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything. From auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist for Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call, 569-1080. KOAN. Fagan and Biegel in the morning on the Talk of the Valley, KVNT 92.5 FM, 1020.
7:35, Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie, KOAN, KVNT. We're also streaming live on the danfagan.us Facebook page. Our good friend Keith Montanak is a mechanic that is, well, he's got a reputation of being just the very best. People trust Keith. They always have. I've never heard a bad complaint about him. I've been talking about Keith Montanak on the radio for years, and so many people have come up to me through the years and said, man, I'm so glad you steered me over to Keith's place. He's a great mechanic. He has a great team over there, especially Truck and Auto. They're right across the street from the Long Branch Saloon off of Abbott. Great location for South Anchorage, Hillside. His number, 349-1637. 349-1637. Keith Montanak, Specialty Truck and Auto. Glenn, you had something.
Well, there's the Tea Party came about. Basically, it was from one speech that somebody who worked for CNBC gave on the floor.
Oh, yeah. I know you're talking about.
Spinelli, what was his?
No.
What was his name?
I know Rick. It's Rick something, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Okay, so anyway, so this guy gives a speech and he's just railing against Obama and railing against Washington D.C. and how much waste there is and abuse, and it's just time, and people are fed up about it. People are sick of it. People have had enough of it. And so anyway, out of that movement, the quote Tea Party began.
We should play that clip. It's a powerful clip.
Yeah, it really was.
Rick
Santelli.
Yeah,
that's right. I was close, so Spinelli.
You were close.
I congratulate myself when I can. I have a terrible memory. Anyway, so out of this, the Tea Party movement grew, and that's where all the energy, by the way, or a great deal of the energy is nationally in the Republican Party. Look at Ted Cruz, you look at Mike Lee, you look at Rand Paul. that's where it is. People know, young people particularly, and they are going to know more and more. Up here in Alaska, they've already figured out Mark Begich, the most expensive senator in the history of the country, bar none, spent more, wasted more, did not care about it, and was totally unabashed in going and saying, hey, look, $7 trillion. You know, of course, young people go, I'm sorry, what did I get out of that? Oh, nothing? Gee, I guess I'll vote for the other side. But on the Republican side, the Tea Party is where a lot of energy is. And so I've been trying to figure out this difference between Boehner and McConnell and these guys who essentially have been running against the Tea Party, which is a huge mistake. It's also a huge mistake to run against pro-lifers. Look, there's a coalition of people, and these people want limited government. But we can't win on our own anymore. We need all these different threads to be sewn together. So they make a mistake in doing that, and in some senses, you know, we're at odds, one versus the other, the Tea Party versus McConnell and Boehner. In many ways, we're unified. Now, there are going to be tests, by the way, of this, and I look forward to walking through these tests together. And one of the tests will be amnesty. Another will be the budget. So I'm looking forward to the battles, because I think conservatives are the people, real conservatives are the real heart of the Republican Party. That's where the party gets its energy. Here's the concern that I have, and this is what I think McConnell and Boehner properly identified as a problem in the Tea Party. The Tea Party, I think essentially for its entire existence, has believed one thing, which I think is dangerous and damaging. That if you could get elected, you weren't qualified to be in office.
That's good.
And I want you to think about that for all the Tea Party out there. Look,
so good.
I am a Tea Party person. And the Tea Party is not interested in winning elections.
Yeah.
Right? They want to make a statement. They want to protect and defend the Constitution, and they want to make a statement. The problem is when you say Constitution, about 70% of Americans tune out. That's so painful, because that's where we came from. That's why we exist today in any form of a republic that is a shadow of what we were designed to be. And it is very painful to hear that we do not have a majority of Americans for whom the Constitution brings up and generates a majority vote. The difficulty for Tea Party people is, and I am one, and I believe in this movement, and I will fight for this movement, and I will give money to this movement, and I give time to this movement. We also are in a political process, and we have to understand that. And politics involves winning. One of the concerns I've had, and I've looked across, you know, many of the races over the last several years, if you could win office, you weren't qualified to be in office if you were if you looked at the Tea Party, because, well, you're just too close to the people who are in Washington. You're too close to this. You're too close to that. I know that's hard to hear, but I really hope people think about it. I hope that they consider it. And
can I add something
we
to that?
really have to work on figuring out. We want conservatives to run for office, like Ted Cruz, like Mike Lee, like Rand Paul, but they also have to be able to win office, and that is not a disqualifier for them being conservative, and it's not a disqualifier for them being in the Tea Party.
Let me add something to that. That's a great point. And this is something that neither one of you have the perspective on. I've covered 3 different legislators, Texas, Louisiana, Alaska. Covered them. I mean, like, I was the reporter for the legislature. It was every day I was in session covering all the committees, the floor votes, everything, caucuses, all that. And the first thing I learned, and my first experience was Texas, and it was the same in Louisiana and Alaska. When you are a legislator, the pressure to grow government is so intense. One lobbyist after another comes into your office, says, we need this, we need that, we need this, we need that. And oh, by the way, if you're not interested in helping us, we got this guy who's in your district who we really like, and he may be running. You know, we want to support you, but, you know, we really need this to happen. It is relentless. It is never ending. It used to be worse when lobbyists could hold fundraisers. So you can go in there, Ted Cruz, and come out of there, Barney Frank, if you're not strong.
Yeah, if you don't have a very rigid backbone.
You have got to be
good foundation.
You have to be solid. So that's a dynamic that's in play. And oh, by the way, not only do you have that lobbyist in there lobbying you every day for more cash, if you don't help us, then the media is going to say you don't like kids.
Yep.
Or you hate children. Or you don't want more health care for, disabled people. And it's just this constant barrage
of threats, basically. Is what they're political threats,
pressure,
or threats against your character, or against who you are.
Never ends. Yep. You can't win. You want to cut? You're not. There's no heroes who cut. You cut, nobody knows. Talk radio will like you. That's about it.
Yeah.
So what you're describing is right. But even when you get in there, Glenn, you could go in there a Joe Miller.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to fight like hell to stay a Joe Miller. And that's part of the problem until we, the people, start backing up our legislators.
That's right.
And start standing with them and giving them money and volunteering for them.
And defending
them.
Yeah. And helping them plan out these cuts.
Because let's look at John Boehner.
Where the waste is.
When I was in Reading, I remember I heard it, I couldn't believe it. John Boehner said, some of these Tea Party folks, you just can't be conservative enough for them. Now, I believe John Boehner's a free market guy. I believe John Boehner would cut government if he could.
He's pro-amnesty.
But he's in there battling and fighting these forces. And yet he's got on the other side of him the Tea Party attack him. And the guy literally's got nobody helping him. The media hates him. The Democrats hate him because he's not a socialist. Tea Partiers don't like him because he's not conservative enough. And it's just never ending. There's no help. There's no reinforcement. 743. And it's just never ending. There's no help. There's no reinforcement. 743. Thank you, Beagle Bonnie.
Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN. Line at 1080KOAN.com.
The highway, a strip of asphalt to carry you between points A and B. But in an all-new 2015 Mercedes-Benz GLA, there is no point B. Because when you're driving a GLA from Mercedes-Benz, you're not concerned with the destination, only the adventure. With off-road transmission mode and a sleek design, this SUV performs with confident style on any terrain. And no matter where your adventure takes you, the all-new GLA's sporty, expressive styling fits in, yet stands out, complementing the many sides of you. See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer today and see the world differently in a GLA 250 4MATIC, starting at $33,300.
MSRP for a 2015 GLA 250 4MATIC excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details.
Mercedes-Benz of Anchorage. The best or nothing.
Trail Boss Solutions is an Alaskan-owned, nationally recognized top 500 construction and remodel firm. With our award-winning kitchen designs and remodels, Trail Boss Solutions is fully licensed, bonded, and insured, and has the experienced professionals to take your project from initial design through completion, on time and on budget. Please visit us on the web at trailboss-solutions.com or contact Trail Boss Solutions direct at 646-1403.
Tomcat kills up to 12 mice per bait block, faster than Decon. What will we do with all of these dead mice? Tomcat presents Dead Mouse Theater, and the critics are raving. They solved my mouse problem and renewed my faith in theater. I'd like my mice dead, but dead mice that can act are even better. Tomcat got the mice out of my walls, onto the stage, and into my heart. Dead Mouse Theater, open to the public this fall at tomcat.com. Tomcat. Engineered to kill. 1 ounce bait block based on no choice lab tests. Time for me for dose to death.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080KOAN.com.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m. on the Talk of the Valley, KVNT.
747, Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, the always delightful Bonnie Cameron.
After 9 o'clock in the morning.
Maybe.
I'm skeptical.
569-1080. Jim, help us.
I wanted to bring up the issue of Article 5, and I know that the president hasn't done anything to protect our borders. He just opened them up, and hopefully the new Congress will do something to seal the borders and decide on what they're going to do on immigration, but I'm asking you, all three of you, when is it going to be time maybe to throw Article 5 up and have it ready just in case Congress doesn't go through like we hope they would? Can I hang up and just listen?
No, you could not hang up.
I think they should do it now. I do.
Yeah, there's no reason to wait. I don't know that they're necessarily related to each other. It's just another reason why states should retain some control over the federal government, and that the states have no control over the federal government, and we've moved far, far, far away.
So Article
from
5
that ideal
is amending the Constitution, right?
I'm not that clear on it. I believe
Well, you brought it up.
I know, and I'll try to say what I know.
Okay.
I think 2/3 of the several states have to vote in favor of having a convention of states, and then all those states have to figure out.
So you want to have a constitutional convention?
No, it's a convention of the states.
Okay, so you want to have Article 5 convention of states for what purpose?
I believe that the people will have a say when the Congress no longer goes in the direction that we want it to go.
Right. So what do you want to come out of this convention?
What would I like to see out of that?
Yeah.
I want to see our borders closed.
Okay, and because the Congress won't close it, you believe that a constitutional convention or a convention of the states would serve that purpose?
Yes.
Because then Texas could close its own border, and hopefully, I think that's kind of the idea.
2/3 of both House and Senate have to approve this.
Okay.
And then legislate at least 2/3 of the legislators of the states have to approve it.
Yep, I think that's the way it is.
Yeah, that's a pretty high hurdle.
Yeah, it's a multi-generation hurdle, no doubt about it. Can we go back to what we were talking about Boehner? Because I think there's.
Thank you, Jim, for your call. Appreciate it.
I think there's confusion here about this. So this is what Boehner had to say. Let me see when this is.
John Boehner, Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
So
this is the 30th of January. So it's quite a while ago, but this is why it's been hung up here for a while. Boehner himself made the pitch to his conference to act, according to a source in the room. It's important to act on immigration reform because we're focused on jobs and economic growth, and this is about jobs and growth. Reform is also about our national security. The safety and security of our nation depends on the ability to secure our border, enforce our laws, improve channels for legal entry to the country, and identify who is here illegally. Boehner reiterated his opposition to the Senate bill and insisted the principles would not be compromised. These standards are as far as we are willing to go, he said. Nancy Pelosi said yesterday that for her caucus, it is a special path to citizenship or nothing. If Democrats insist on that, then we are not going to get anywhere.
That's John Boehner.
That's John Boehner's statement. So, the key difference between the two sides is we're probably not going to be deporting 20 million people, especially children.
But here's my problem.
And John Boehner is basically saying you are not going to get a leg up in line. You are not going to get a guarantee of citizenship if you're here illegally. He doesn't go as far as I would like him to go, which is to say, if you are here illegally, you cannot become a citizen because you've broken the law.
See, here's my problem. Not with the Tea Party members, but some in the movement, i.e. Joe Miller. Joe Miller sat on this broadcast multiple times saying Dan Sullivan's pro-amnesty. He had zero evidence of that, but he would say it over and over.
Yeah.
Bonnie saying John Boehner's pro-amnesty. But Boehner has never said anything to indicate that. This it's not true.
Well, we want to get down to words and what people actually believe, because the problem here, and this is my guess, Bonnie, as to what's going on, if you're not for deporting every person who's not in the country illegally, even if they came here for a job or they had a green card or whatever it is, or they have children here or whatever, right? There's any number of different scenarios under which people are here. That if you're not for that, then in essence you're for amnesty. Now that differs from my definition, which is if you're for allowing people who came here illegally to vote, then you're for amnesty, and I'm against that, and I'll vote against you, and I do not support you, and you will break our republic, and you will destroy our country. So there's a big difference there as to what some different people consider amnesty. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So would you would then retract your John Boehner's for amnesty?
No, because I have read things that said that behind closed doors he has supported amnesty.
And you were there?
No, I've read a few things that said that.
Really? You just heard the man say.
Well, for me, Bonnie,
I mean, look at Marco Rubio. Even he was.
The important
for
thing
it.
is he's leading a caucus of Republicans. It's clear that the caucus of Republicans does not support a special path to citizenship, which is what the Democrats' code words are for. We want 20 million new voters who are hopefully going to vote for us.
But now let me ask you a question, Glenn, because Bonnie has said on this broadcast, and I agree, we give amnesty to 20 million. We're done as a country.
If we give the vote,
we're done as a country if that happens.
If they stay here, we won't be done as a country because they're already here and we're not done as a country.
Bonnie wanted to deport all 20 million. Am I right?
I said, is that the law right now?
And it's not the law right now. There are a lot of different people here under massive.
You want to deport anyone
numbers.
who's
if
here.
they're here illegally,
that
that means that they're not here legally.
Right. You want to deport 100%.
A lot of them came here legally. Many of
but they're here illegally now, right?
Well, no, a lot of them are here. Some are here illegally. Some are here legally.
But you want to deport all of them that are here.
When we're a nation of laws, I don't see how you can say, okay, well, you can.
So you want to deport them all?
I said, is that the law as it's written right now?
Are we?
If you're here illegally, are you supposed to be here illegally? Or?
The law would say
and is
no.
the punishment for it deportation? Because it's not always deportation.
Yeah, I'm asking.
You know, the government can make the president has not acted as illegally as most people think. The president has broad powers to be able to allow people to stay. He can grant his administration and people in Homeland Security all kinds of authority. Now, he's not following all kinds of laws which we expect him to follow, which means that felons that come over here, they're not allowed to stay. They have to go back. And I mean, so he's not following even those laws. So he is acting, you know, with complete disregard for the law. But he also is following some of the very broad guidelines in a very liberal way. You know, so he's doing both things.
Entering the United States without approval is illegal. So staying in the United States without permission after your visa or other authorized stay has expired, even violating the terms of a legal entry can make your stay illegal. The U.S. Immigration Office law offers very few options to go from being illegal or undocumented immigrant to the U.S. with a green card. Option 1, marry a U.S. citizen. Option 2, cancellation of removal. Option 2, service in the military. And option 4, asylum. Option 5, temporary protected status. So,
and everybody who the government runs across is essentially given some of these statuses, which were very rarely used in the past. But they're talking about making every person who's come here from Central America an economic refugee.
Right.
Which is within their power. It's just nobody ever expected the law to be abused in that way.
Let me ask you, Bonnie, of those options, would you favor the 20 million who are here illegally be awarded or given any of those options, or should they all be deported?
I don't know. It's that's a really sticky process, and I don't know how to address that. But I do think that we need to streamline getting here, for sure.
Streamline meaning?
Making it to where it doesn't take 10, 11, 12 years to, become a U.S. citizen.
Those who play by the rules.
Right.
Yeah. But regarding the 20 million, should we deport them all, or should we give some of the 5 options? Well, the marriage one has to be their deal, but
well, if that's the law right now, then that's what we should do.
So
change the law.
So you should give 4. You would give. Would you give a lot of them asylum? Would you give some of them asylum? How would you determine?
I don't know. That's what we elect people for.
Okay.
That's not up to me. That's up to the elected representatives.
This rigid, because before you wanted to deport them all.
Well, I said if that's the law right now.
Well, it is the law right now.
Okay.
But, to me, that's the difference between. It's like I said, 1964, Barry Goldwater would not support the Civil Rights Act. He was a states' rights guy, and he was right in doing so. But he cost the Republican Party black support from that moment on. It was an impractical position. And that's sometimes you can be states' rights, states' rights, states' rights. But sometimes you have to employ some practicality.
I think we should look back, though, at the time when 11 million of them were given amnesty, and it obviously didn't work. And I don't.
It wasn't 11. It was only about 2.5, 2.8 million.
Oh, I've
under
heard
Reagan.
11.
Under Reagan.
Yeah, under Reagan.
Yeah.
It was I've never heard an 11 million figure. It was 2.8. We didn't have that dramatic of immigration. I mean, we're having 500,000 people come across the border every year these years, but we didn't back then. It wasn't, it just wasn't done all that.
Well, I agree with Ann Coulter and actually Lloyd Ingram are very strong on this. We can't let these people vote.
That's the key.
Because and frankly, I don't think the Democrats want them if they can't vote.
Yeah, but if they're given work status, if they're able to work here, they're and they're paying taxes, they're going to want the vote with that. That's just the next logical.
Well, they can apply for
thing to
citizenship.
Do. Well.
But that you don't just give them that.
I think they're wanting to give them that for sure. The Democrats.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
And I've even had conservative friends at times say, "Oh, well, if we should let them vote or we should let them work here because then they'll pay taxes and we'll get money off of their taxes." And that's a lot more tax income. But
Democrats want to give them driver's licenses. They want to give them everything.
Right. I don't know. It's a sticky situation, but I think it's one that we need to address for sure. And immigration, any kind of immigration reform is already so politically motivated. So, I mean, you've got even Marco Rubio going for it. Of course, I think now he's reneging on that a little bit.
569-1080, Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. KOAN, KVNT. Streaming live, video and audio on danfagan.us. Our number 569-1080.
Hot talk every day. 95.1 FM, 1080 AM. KOAN, Anchorage.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. The U.S. Postal Service may have been hacked. Fox News Radio Steve Taylor live in Washington.
The data covers Postal Service employees, names, birth dates, social security numbers, emergency contact information. Those were potentially compromised, according to a Postal Service spokesman who says customer information has not been affected. But people who contacted the service's customer call center earlier this year may have had names, addresses, home and email, and phone numbers lifted. The FBI is investigating. The Washington Post quotes a cyber policy expert as saying it's the kind of hack that the Chinese might do. Lisa.
Steve, thanks. Should the internet be regulated like phone companies? President Obama jumps into the net neutrality debate. Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern live in D.C.
Like millions of other Americans, President Obama is lending his opinion to the debate over how the internet should be regulated.
There are no gatekeepers deciding which sites you get to access. There are no toll roads on the information superhighway.
In a web video released by the White House, President Obama argues the FCC should reclassify the internet as a public utility. That would prevent companies like Netflix or YouTube from cutting deals with internet service providers for content priority and faster speeds. India representatives and many Republicans disagree, calling the president's proposal a gross overreaction. Lisa.
Jared, thanks. The VA is being reorganized, and while that continues, VA Chief Bob McDonald says progress is being made on the backlog at the center of the delayed treatment scandal.
From June to September, we've completed over 1 million more appointments in our facilities than in the same months last year.
Also allowing more than 1 million vets to receive outside care. Wounded veterans and family members of the fallen are suing 5 big European banks, including Barclays and Credit Suisse, accusing them of processing money from Iran that paid for attacks in Iraq. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Big grain fever savings are back at John Deere. Save on all tractors from the 1 family to the Big 6 Series with 0% financing for 60 months. Or big cash discounts. Plus, get $1,500 off a 1-family tractor with the purchase of 2 implements. Offer ends February 2nd, 2015, subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Visit your local John Deere dealer today to take advantage of special savings going on now. Find out more at myjohndeeredealer.com.
Dentist office, may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to cancel my teeth whitening appointment.
May I ask why?
I found a teeth whitener that works in 5 minutes that I can do from home. It's called Power Swabs.
Hi, I'm John Greenhut, and if you want to whiten your teeth 2 shades in 5 minutes and 6 shades in 7 days, then try Power Swabs. Just swab your teeth and you're done. Try Power Swabs risk-free by calling 1-800-663-1592. That's 1-800-663-1592. 1-800-663-1592.
Well, howdy, I'm Nick Worthington, Ford Giant, Worthington Ford.
Home of over 1,000 vehicles and 700 4x4s. That's why we're 4x4 headquarters.
Right now, pick any vehicle on the lot, and you can make no payments until next year. Take a look.
Check out these 4x4s. A Chevy Trailblazer, just $59.50. And a Ford Explorer for $99.50.
Here's a Ford Expedition, just $10,900. And here's a Chevy 1500, just $12,900.
And with over 1,000 vehicles to choose from, you're sure to find one that's just right for you. Plus, no payments until next year.
And we can finance anyone we want to. We have our own finance company.
And don't forget your trade-in. We need your trade-in.
So push, pull, or drag it in, and you'll get top dollar. Now's the time. Head into Giant Worthington Ford on Gamble.
07 Explorer Q1111, 07 1500 SQ1995A, 06 Trailblazer Q1336A, 08 Expedition Q1688. On approved credit, subject to prior sales. See dealer for details. Ends 11/13/2014.
Hi, this is Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company. Sellers, if you are going to sell your home, now may very well be the best time. The current interest rates are still very low in comparison to previous loan rates. Now is the time to take advantage of this uncommon phenomenon. We will look back at this period as a golden opportunity to buy or sell. Homeowners planning to sell should call us at 244-0821. We will be happy to come out and do a comparative market analysis at your convenience. Call Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821. That's 244-0821.
Why is A&A the shop, Alaska's independent Subaru specialist? How is it they've been voted the best shop in Anchorage not once but 6 times? Well, it's pretty simple. They offer the best warranty in the business. If they work on your Subaru, you're going to get a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on both parts and labor. That's unheard of. A&A the shop deals exclusively with Subarus, and they also offer $35 oil changes. All their technicians are ASE certified. Call A&A the shop for an appointment. 562-3919 in Anchorage and 696-2096 in Eagle River.
When I grew up, I wanted to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher. Oh, an Olympic gymnast.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream. For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Do you remember that Beatles song? If the rain comes, they'll run and hide their heads. You know which one I'm talking about. Well, if that's you and you're inside your home or office, it's time to call Earhart Roofing. Call Earhart Roofing for all your roofing needs. Flat or pitched, large or small, Earhart Roofing will do the job quickly, and they'll do it right. Earhart Roofing, big enough to serve you and still small enough to care. Call 345-5555. That's 345-5555.
244-0821. That's 244-0821.
Fagan, Biegel. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. The Talk of the Valley. KVNT.
8:06 on a Monday morning, November 10th, 2014. Welcome to the Fagan Biegel Bonnie broadcast on KOAN, KVNT. Streaming live, video and audio, danfagan.us. I'm telling you, Glen and Bonnie, do not give up on the Parnell race. I still believe that Parnell can pull it out. It's mathematically possible. We'll see. Amanda Coyne had something on her blog late last night about some of the folks rumored to be part of the Walker-Malott transition team, and I will tell you, it ain't a pretty picture. Marty Rutherford, DNR commissioner, she's the one who brought us aces in Aegea. We know where she stands.
I wonder if she would. It would be fascinating to have her on just to find out what she thinks about the law that she passed. As we watch all these other states essentially rocket into the future, and here Alaska is left behind
until we fix aces.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be fascinated to hear what she says now.
A lot of Port Authority people will be on there. The cabal is, as Amanda says, Luke Hopkins, Merrick Pierce, Jim Whitaker, Steve Hagenson. Steve Hagenson is one of the guys that Sarah Palin wanted me to meet with. And I'm telling you, this guy.
What did she want you to meet with him for?
Because she wanted me to adopt her anti-oil populist position. And Malcolm Roberts, I sat in a meeting with Malcolm Roberts. And he went on, and are you okay with her?
Yeah, I'm all right.
He went on and on and on about the oil companies and how that they are murdering people in Africa intentionally by poisoning the water just so they won't be in the way. I said, you can't. And it was funny because a friend of mine brought me to this meeting. And she was like a real dialogue kind of gal. And, let's all get along and kumbaya. So I said, sure, I'll go to your meeting.
Yeah.
And I just, you think I was bad with Bonnie. I could not stand for this stuff that Malcolm Roberts was spewing. And it got heated. It got ugly. And everybody else was a kumbaya person. I was the only conservative.
Well, how can you kumbaya with that if it's not true?
You couldn't. And my friend.
Is that what kumbaya people mean when they want us to kumbaya with them? That okay, well, just accept the fact that these are all murderers and that's who we're up and fighting against.
Well, my friend was really hurt that I made such a scene, but I couldn't sit there and listen to that.
So she didn't like the fact that you call these people out on their lies.
Angry with me because I just literally could not hear it, and I had to say, what are you talking about? Give me one example of oil companies intentionally poisoning waters. The media would be all over that. 60 Minutes would do a story on that every night for a year.
Yeah, and they should if they ever did.
But that's the crowd. That's the backbone crowd. They just loathe the oil industry.
And those are conservatives and Democrats.
I don't see how they are conservatives.
Isn't there?
They're pro-union.
They call themselves conservative,
Well, it's
right?
the Eddie Burke conservative.
Oh, okay.
Pro-union.
Is it the Tom Anderson version of conservative?
Well, the Anderson endorsed Begich, which I'm still
he's
shocked.
Gone.
And Forrest
He's
Dunbar.
Gone.
Yeah.
Bye, gone.
I'm still shocked that Begich lost with Tom Anderson.
Yeah, that is a kind of a shocker.
But no, you can't say Tom's a conservative, right?
You can't anymore.
Endorse Mark Begich.
Come on.
That's why when I was talking with him at the primary election, I was like, wait, aren't you supposed to be a Republican? Don't you call yourself a Republican?
Yeah.
And what did he say to that?
He said, oh, yeah. But
yeah.
Are you guys making fun of Tom Anderson?
No, that was Glenn.
No. Look, I love the Finnish or whatever accent that is.
Let me tell you something about Tom Anderson. Let me tell you about him. He's got a great delivery. I will occasionally tune him on in the afternoon.
Yes.
And he does. He's got a great presentation. I don't like his show much because he doesn't ever confront anybody. Whoever the guest is on that show, he likes, and he agrees with everything they say. And I like to see a little drama and conflict. But when he's on there by himself, he's got a really good delivery. He's got a real good way of presenting his ideas and thoughts. I think it's a good show.
Well, I don't know about you, but he attacked my humanity because he said that I was a horrible person for not wanting the orphans to come up from Central America.
Oh, your deportation thing?
No, this wasn't even deportation. This was I was a horrible person because I didn't want them coming here.
Oh, the kids.
I didn't think that they should just be bussed and flown up here. I'm a horrible person.
He said horrible person?
He attacked my humanity. I don't remember his exact quote, but he was like, you Republicans.
Have I ever attacked your humanity?
No, I don't think so.
Good.
No.
Ding.
Now, Amanda Coyne does.
In her, Amanda?
Yeah, that's what I was fuming about just now.
Oh, yeah.
What?
She's got some really inflammatory stuff in there.
Bad. Yeah,
About
she says,
you?
No, we know that Representative Charisse Millett was voted in as majority leader, which is smart because she looks good for the camera and is reasonable and articulate enough to counter the foaming-mouthed, Bible-thumping Republican stereotype, a stereotype that isn't completely unjustified.
Now, what do you think she means by foaming mouth? Just rabid.
Rabid, yeah. And then she goes on to say, I've been told that there's rules in terms of membership, which include something about bringing a Bible to the meetings and reading aloud a verse.
Listen, Amanda Coyne is a friend of mine.
I know that. But this is, okay, you want to hear me say something negative about the Democrats. This is just wrong.
You didn't even let me finish. She's a friend of mine. I spent time with her socially. She's a genuine friend. And she is a leftist, but she's a fair leftist. And she tries so hard not to let her leftism influence her. But at the core of every leftist is this anti-religion bias.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just part of their religion. It's part of their belief system. Because leftists say, I am God, not God is God. And it's just how leftists roll. That's why they always have this, like Sheila Toomey, another leftist, another friend. She used to call Sean Parnell Governor God because he spoke openly about her faith. People who come from the left, the hard leftists, there's just something about them just grates them, this idea that people would worship a creator. And it's inherent in everything they believe. Frankly, this is harsh. This is probably uncalled for. But when you look at what leftists believe, from my vantage point, they're wrong just about everything. Literally. I don't know that I agree with a leftist on anything. And I think that's because in their deep, deep, deep parts of their heart, sorry, Glenn, they have said there is no God. And when you make that decision, you make that conscious decision in your deep inner chambers of your heart, it literally acts as a blinding agent and reverses everything, where that everything you see upside down. And that's why I believe leftists are literally wrong about everything, because their first initial original decision, which is there is no God.
And you're allowed to have a God if it's not the Christian God.
I know a lot of people on the left who believe in God, but they believe the government is an agent of their God. And that is what I don't get.
Well,
because look, if you're of this world, then the world will love you, and if you're not, then the world will hate you and despise you, right?
You probably don't know many leftists who believe in the Christian God.
No, they do. They all do, but they see government literally as an agent of their God. So what's funny, I want to bring what's funny about it, because Amanda Coyne brings these two things into conflict, and I just want to know, I want people to note how odd it is that this person of the left is accusing Republicans of the exact thing that people on the left believe essentially universally.
814, Fagan, Biegel, Bonnie.
Universally.
814, Fagan, Biegel, Bonnie.
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
Attention Anchorage. Do you believe in the power of free live music? If so, we need your help. Anchorage has been selected as a semifinalist in the Levette AMP Music Grant Award Contest. This grant program will give top selected cities up to $25,000 to produce an outdoor free concert series in 2015. But we won't win without your help and vote. Sign up at amp.levettepavilions.org before November 30th or visit anchoragedowntown.org to follow the link to vote and help us win. The concert series will be produced by Anchorage Downtown Partnership with the help of the Alaska State Council on the Arts. It will feature local talent and help bring up bands from the lower 48 and beyond. Please help spread the word and rally your family, friends, colleagues, and neighbors to sign up and vote for Anchorage. Remember, we're competing against other cities in the lower 48, so every vote counts. The program ends November 30th. Brought to you by Anchorage Downtown Partnership and Alaska Integrated Media.
This is Dr. Ellenberg. Are you tired of taking medications? Do your medications create more side effects than solutions? Do you want more than 15 minutes with your doctor? If you answer yes to those questions, you should consider calling the Ellenberg Center for Natural Medicine. At our center, we take the time to listen and focus on finding the cause of your health problems. Whether you have a cold, high blood pressure, diabetes, or cancer, we can help. Call the Ellenberg Center for Natural Medicine at 563-2366 or visit us online at drellenberg.com. We can help.
This is Olympic cross-country skier Holly Brooks. Are you an adult who wants to help today's girls become tomorrow's leaders? Girl Scouts of Alaska is looking for volunteers. Lead a Girl Scout troop, coach a Lego robotics team, or present at a workshop. Parents, grandparents, college students, and retirees can all be Girl Scout volunteers. All you need is a willingness to help make tomorrow's leaders from today's girls. Girls like me, because I was a Girl Scout. Visit www.girlscoutsalaska.org or call 248-2250.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call. You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning on the Talk of the Valley, KVNT 92.5 FM, 1020 AM.
All right, it's 8:17. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, broadcasting KOAN, KVNT, also streaming on danfagan.us, both video and audio. Our number 569-1080, 569-1080.
Earhart Roofing is ready to assist you. I know that a lot of people think, I got a roof on my house, I've got a foundation on my house, they both last forever, I don't have to worry about them, couldn't be more wrong. Our roofs don't last forever. The wind comes up, there was winds on the hillside again last night, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. It was blowing really hard. It's raining in the middle of winter, and this is, as it turns out, not great for your roof. You can lose a shingle or, just the dry rot. There's all kinds of different problems that can come about from. Have Earhart Roofing go out, check out your house. Free re-roofing estimate is but a phone call away. 345-5555. Their name, Earhart Roofing. When you think roofing, think Earhart, E-A-R-H-A-R-T.
So we're talking about Amanda Coyne's describing the new caucus as the Freedom Caucus. She says we know Representative Millett was voted in as the majority leader, which is smart because she looks good for the camera and is reasonable and articulate enough to counter the foaming mouth, Bible-thumping Republican stereotype, a stereotype that isn't completely unjustified. Just look at the newest caucus that has formed in the House called the Freedom Caucus. The charter members include Wes Keller, Laura Reinbold. She does not like Laura Reinbold, Amanda, by the way. Shelley Hughes and Kathy Tilton. I've been told that there are rules in terms of membership, which include something about bringing a Bible to the meetings and reading aloud a verse, because it's always a good idea to defend the nation's freedom by mixing church and state.
Something that's not even in the Constitution, by the way.
She's just wrong. No, every person who founded the country believed one thing. We are kings. And we don't need a king to rule over us. That we are our own creators. And that we don't need a king, we don't need a centralized government to tell us how to act and what to do. That we will decide those things for ourselves. So there really is a very deep disagreement here, and it's not between Amanda Coyne and us, or Amanda Coyne and the people who are listening. It is between human nature and Amanda Coyne. You have to realize, Amanda, if I may speak to you on a personal level.
She's in Hawaii.
And she may be wherever. I'm just letting her know that the fact that a person sees themselves as responsible for their neighbor without government being involved, and that means that they're a Christian, and because that's a key part of Christianity is to service the poor, that's not a bad thing. And it's really the reason why we were able to create a free country. It didn't happen. The reason that our country didn't get created anywhere else is because they didn't have that belief. They needed to be told what the right thing to do was everywhere else but here. Here, what we figured out was, you know what, we're all religious. And in fact, the founders of the country were extremely religious. And they knew that they didn't need government as God. So what's odd about this is, here you have, this is a first amendment principle. These people are allowed to form whatever group they want, in whatever way they want, however they want, with whatever requirements they want.
I'm talking about the Freedom Caucus.
That's right. And you know what you have to say about that, Amanda? That's their right. That is their right to form whatever caucus they want.
Does she not have the right to criticize it?
Of course she has the right to criticize it. But what I want people to understand is these people's beliefs about limited government, about personal responsibility, about you taking care of your neighbor rather than a bureaucrat, come from this book. It is part of what they believe. There is no separation of church and state. Our country would not have existed if there was a separation of church and state. Good people would not be doing the right things. Let me just put it to you this way. Our country depends on one principle and one principle alone. That you, against your human nature, you, against your own personal desires, will not go to the government and try and take as much as you can. Our entire country is based on that one principle.
Self-discipline without self-governing without self-discipline will not work.
It won't work.
Now, you're not calling for a state religion, a mandated religion.
No, of course not. Doesn't have anything to do with it. These people are allowed to form whatever caucus they like. The Freedom Caucus is going to be fighting for limited government, and they're going to be fighting for limited government for one reason and one reason alone. They know that the government offers enough stuff right now so that if you wanted to and you want to keep having kids, you would have a pretty decent life.
And if these lawmakers want to get together in a caucus setting and read a verse of the Bible and maybe even talk about their faith, that's okay.
Of course. It has to be okay. It has to be okay because our very country, the very founding of it, the ideas behind it.
Why do you think
everything
it bothers
about
the left so much? Why do they object to this?
Well, they know that government and God, government and church, government and people doing good works are set at odds against each other, right? And that they have this very deep belief that people cannot do the right thing unless there is somebody there to tell them what the right thing to do is. And that force is government. It's not God, and it's certainly not a book or a Bible or their friends. So they don't trust people to do the right thing. Now, that has never been the experience of our country, by the way. We are the greatest country on earth because we're the goodest country on earth. And we're the goodest country on earth.
Is a word?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Not best?
No, the goodest, most good.
Is that really a word?
We're not the best.
I don't think it's the
you
right tense.
don't. No. It is. You guys
Okay.
go look it up.
He would know.
Okay,
No,
well,
it's
anyway,
true.
but you were making a good point.
Right.
You're making a goodest point.
We're the goodest country. In other words, the most good country. We're the most good country because we will sacrifice our blood, our treasure, our freedom to help other people.
Yeah. Can I go back to what we said in the last break, where I believe that the leftist has decided in their heart that there is no God. They're denying what I believe would be the one true God, which was the God of Christianity. And that causes them to be blind on just about every other issue. They're literally upside down. Whatever's true, they take the complete opposite position. And you said, yeah, but that's not true. A lot of people who go to my church are leftists. And then I asked you, I said, if you were to ask them, do you believe in all pathways to God, the God of Hindu, the God of Buddha, Muslim, would you still go to heaven? And I would say most of the leftists in your church would say yes, right?
Yeah, I think they would.
So there's my point still stands there because it's a rejection of Christ, the God of Christianity. Leftists, that's they absolutely refuse to believe in their Creator, who is, in my opinion, the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And it really just comes in and it literally blinds you to everything. You can't even see a little baby with its beating heart is a life. That's how blinding it is. And so that's to me,
it's politically correct.
It's politically correct,
Yeah.
but a lot of times we're so hard on our leftist friends and we don't understand why literally they don't see how redistributing wealth, something as plain as that, can be harmful. They don't understand how securing our borders are. Just the basic, most fundamental common sense issues. They're on the complete opposite. We bang our heads against the wall and say, what is wrong with these people? I think it starts with that decision in the inner chambers of their heart. That's my opinion. I could be wrong about that.
I think it's interesting that she capitalizes the Vedas or whatever she talks about with the Anand Dubey, and then Bible she goes out of her way to not capitalize.
She says
It's
if Dubey
so
wins,
obvious.
she says if Dubey wins, it'll be interesting to see if he gets invited to the Freedom Caucus, and if so, whether he will be able to bring a quote from the Vedas instead of the Bible. The Vedas, I had to look it up, are a body of texts originated in ancient India.
Now, can I ask you guys a question? Because I've noticed this amongst a lot of people. Many people came over and voted for Sullivan. They voted against. They were uncomfortable with it, but they allowed themselves to be convinced. And I happen to feel like Amanda Coyne is probably in this group. And so they held themselves to sort of, they were thinking a different way, and it was probably painful. Michael Chambers, United for Liberty, I've seen this with him as well. So this is from both left and right, who came together to get rid of Begich. And, hopefully they will have been successful. But at this point, they've snapped back much further than I've ever seen them before, because I've never seen anything like this from Amanda Coyne. This is truly offensive. She is literally trying to offend at least 70% of the people who read her columns.
I don't see it that way.
Same thing with Michael Chambers. He is out just railing against Republicans in every form, at every time.
Everything that comes out of his mouth.
No, not recently. He voted for Sullivan.
But you have to understand the heart of a leftist. I'm sorry about saying the word heart. But
it's about 4 times the segment.
It's literally who they are. It's their religion, Glenn. Leftism.
But she voted for Dan Sullivan, I believe.
Well, look,
and she has been protecting him. She's not been playing along with Begich.
Can we cut to the chase about Begich? He is a compulsive liar with a horrible record. You can't support him unless you are just a completely out of your mind, rabid leftist. And I don't think, Amanda covers his stuff. She sees Begich in his rhetoric, and she sees that 85% of what he says just isn't true.
But you don't think that this is sort of a snapback reaction, reaction? Do you think?
Yes.
No, it could be. No, I didn't know that was the point you're making.
Well, that's the point I'm making.
Her street creds for her
it's basically she has been holding this line, which has been making her very, very uncomfortable, and people haven't liked it.
Yes.
And now it's like back with a vengeance.
Yes.
She would never say this to your face.
Oh, she would.
This is mean.
No,
this
she
is
wouldn't.
awful. This is just not true.
See, you've never had left. I have a lot of leftist friends.
Okay.
They speak freely in front of me.
Okay. And they say stuff like this?
They do.
Yeah.
They do not like Christianity.
Yeah. I have leftist enemies who, are associates of mine. But, I treat everybody friendly.
I worked as a news reporter my whole life.
Yeah.
I was swimming in a pool of
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then that's just what they
So this stuff just came out of them all the time.
It's just where they are.
It's just such a double standard because they're allowed to do all this and she's allowed to say all this. And if I start talking about it, it's...
Let me just say something. Christians deserve some culpability here. If Christians were Christians and did what you said, truly cared for the poor, did the right thing like they're supposed to, and were actually the light of the world, leftists wouldn't have this. They wouldn't have this opinion.
I think they'd still have the opinion, but it would be harder for them to make their case.
Maybe. 829, Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie, 569-1080.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Give him a call. 569-1080. KOAN.
Local news brought to you by Jansen Funeral Homes, Jansen's Evergreen Memorial Chapel, Jansen's Alaska Cremation Center, and Jansen's Eagle River Funeral Home. Jansen Funeral Homes, where just like family, they're there when you need them.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. Anchorage police were investigating the fatal pedestrian accident that killed a grandmother in Midtown early Saturday. They say Venice Gunlick was trying to cross C Street near Fireweed Lane at about 4 a.m. when she was struck. Pope Francis has appointed a new bishop in the Fairbanks Diocese. The Reverend Chad Zielinski will be ordained on December 15th. It's the first time in recent years that an active military chaplain has been named spiritual head of a diocese. As Ann Kenda reports, the Matsu Electrical Association is calling its power plant project in Eklutna a success.
The project has been criticized, but electric officials deem the project a success, despite the months of delays. One section is expected to be partially operational by late December to early January, with another section to follow shortly afterwards. The original plan was to be fully online on January 1st. An additional source of electricity will still be needed through March.
That's your Hot Talk News update.
Partly sunny today, though we will see a rain or snow shower in spots, high of 44. Mostly cloudy tonight with a bit of rain mixed with snow early with little or no accumulation, a low 32. Then a little rain for tomorrow, high 42. A shower around tomorrow night before temperatures fall below freezing, low 31. Then sun and some clouds Wednesday, high 40. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Local news, weather, and the Dan Fagan Glen Biegel Show on Hot Talk. KOAN. Brought to you by Connect Country Liquor. With 4 convenient locations in the Valley and Talkeetna, you won't find a better selection.
Cloud.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Pop quiz. What has more sugar? 6 Krispy Kreme donuts or 1 bottle of soda? I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN's chief medical correspondent. The answer is it's a tie. That's right. A standard bottle of soda from a vending machine has roughly the same amount of sugar as 6 Krispy Kreme donuts. Sugary beverages may seem harmless, but their health impact is alarming, and many scientists and experts consider them one of the biggest public health risks in the United States. In fact, researchers believe sugar from beverages may have more of a negative impact on our body than consuming it in foods. That's because sugar in beverages get into the bloodstream in very high levels in a very quick period of time. Let me give you a little bit more perspective on how sugar in a soda, for example, can be so extreme. A 20-ounce soda has 65 grams of sugar. That's the equivalent of 16 or 17 teaspoons of sugar in one bottle. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call or go online to get the free help you need during this turbulent time. Call now, 800-467-7530, 800-467-7530.
Hey folks, this is Chris and Brock from The Beer Show. Make sure to listen to us every Saturday at 5 p.m. on 95.1 and 1080 KOAN.
The Beer Show is brought to you proudly every single week by Humpy's Great Alaska Nail House, Brown Jug Alaska, Great Artisan Beverages, and the Odom Corporation. Always drink responsibly.
When I grew up, I wanted to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher. Oh, an Olympic gymnast.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream. For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Here's my good friend, Keith Montronock.
Automotive repairs can be frustrating. Let me help. Call 349-1637. I have been in business for nearly 20 years at the same location. Specialty Truck and Auto is in South Anchorage behind the Long Branch Saloon where Diamond becomes Abbott. I have 6 ASE certified technicians working from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. I have a voucher for any of the 6 Alaska Laser Wash locations for each customer. If you schedule ahead and need a ride when you drop your vehicle off, I may be able to help. Call Specialty Truck and Auto, 349-1637.
All my life, I've enjoyed hunting and fishing, but as I got older, it made it harder to enjoy the Alaskan outdoors. Thanks to Chugach Chiropractic, I'm back on the stream enjoying Alaska.
Besides aligning the spine, we also deal with the musculature and the nervous system of the body. To do that, we not only adjust the spine, but we also balance muscles along with various therapies and deep tissue therapy. We help bring the body back to normal function.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080 KOAN. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m. on the Talk of the Valley, KVNT.
8:35 in the morning, Monday morning, November 10th, 2014. How about that? Our good friend Mike Daniels over at Country Financial and his team of country representatives. Experts, successful retirement. That's what they're all about. They're about helping you have a successful retirement, making sure you get to retirement with enough insurance so you're as you build your nest egg, it is protected. They're going to ask you some questions that are going to open your eyes to areas of financial planning you've never considered before. It is so worth the visit. So worth a visit, Country Financial. We've spent some time with Mike Daniels. So impressed with his wisdom, and he's just a great guy. Go see him or one of his representatives, country representatives. They have 15 locations in Alaska. 13, sorry. 5 in the Valley, 5 in Anchorage. 866-COUNTRY's the number. Country Financial, 866-COUNTRY. Country, of course, is spelled
COUNTRY.
Poor Bonnie, she walked into a buzzsaw today. You notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Monday.
569-1080. 569-1080. That's the number if you'd like to join us on the broadcast.
I've been pressing people to find out if they were going to regret their vote for Walker, and I'm not saying people should or shouldn't. I think people have their own personal expectations as to what this ticket's going to mean. And it was tough to get a read on him. He almost always said conservative things about the budget. Very, very clear on that. As clear as any person who's ever been elected to office, I would say, in the history of the state of Alaska. Bill Walker was clearer on his desire to reduce the budget than any former candidate for the governorship. Fair?
Yes.
Is that clear?
I think so. I think that's
Sean
probably his
Parnell
only one.
never came in and said, I'm cutting the budget, right? Okay, so he was really clear about it, even went further than what Sean Parnell was comfortable in saying, and Sean Parnell kind of called him on it a few times. But given the fact that people don't really know what to make of this, I would suggest people sort of set up for people who voted for him. I know you had an expectation, whoever it is out there who did vote for Walker, and I know that there are some of his positions that probably make you uncomfortable, but I'm interested in knowing when he will have crossed the line. And I do get the sense right off the bat that this piece in Amanda Coyne has highlighted a number of places that are going to make a lot of people very uncomfortable. And I'm wondering how insulated Walker's going to be as to whether he gets this message. And this is where I think people are uncomfortable. Valdez. If he pushes this line through Valdez, there is no space there. We cannot get people to live there. There are, the jobs. They almost all will go out of state, or could go out of state, versus the Kenai, you could be looking at whole new towns.
I looked at the Nikiski district.
Yeah.
And who went for Walker and who went for Parnell. It's almost 100% Parnell.
Yeah, I agree.
That says something for sure.
They know Walker's always been about Valdez.
Money speaks.
Made $15 million as an attorney for.
So you think it's clear to you that he's going to push Valdez all the way?
I think it's all moot point. I think Parnell wins.
Oh.
Actually, I owe you a steak dinner.
Why?
Let's go 2-0 on that steak dinner. I say Parnell wins.
Okay, I don't think Parnell will win.
So
I'm not going to see my steak dinner. We're going to go 4-4 to
no,
nothing.
you get 2 steak dinners.
8-0.
You don't have to eat them at once.
16-0.
We go to 2 different settings. I'm
getting hungry.
No, Parnell.
Okay, well, that's fine, but that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm saying that if Walker keeps his lead and he moves forward, Amanda Coyne has a piece today. Everyone wants to know what might be part of a Walker-Malott transition team, and she brings up a number of people that he's been talking to. My only point here to bring up is I know a lot of people had expectations going into this election for what Walker would mean as governor. If he pushes to go into Valdez rather than go into Kenai, my guess is a lot of people will start to resent their vote and that they will turn against him right off the bat.
People on the peninsula would, but why would everybody else?
No. I think a lot of people in Anchorage know, what do we care about a line going through Valdez? We don't go out to Valdez. Kenai's right there. We could actually have a bridge and it could be 15 minutes away. No, everybody here in Anchorage, the vast majority of people who weren't going to vote for Malott and voted for Walker.
Have you met Bill Walker supporters?
Yeah. Well, yeah, actually, I have.
Have you really?
Well, some of the people on his.
Have you had a conversation with him?
I think Glenn was one.
I lost a head over that.
One of your 9 lives got claimed in that one.
My goodness.
No, but I think that there are. I don't know what percentage it is, but I'm guessing that there is a 5 to 8%, maybe 10% of his voters, and not of his voters, of his total vote. So maybe upwards of 20% of his vote were for people who didn't want the line to go through Valdez.
38% of people who voted for Walker are liberals. That's about what we got. 38% in the state, right? That
38% of his vote, or 38% of the 47% that he got, 48% that he got?
I'd say that of people who vote, 38 to 40% are liberals.
No way.
How much did?
I would say 25.
Really?
25% of the state of Alaska is bare knuckles liberal.
How do you explain
No, I don't think so. I think it's more than that.
Yeah, how many? What did Begich get?
Because he buys off native votes.
Well, all right. So people who typically vote for liberals make up about 38%, 40% of our electorate.
Yeah, I think Obama got around 40, 42. I don't think they would call themselves liberals.
I understand,
but look,
but
you're going to vote for the federal government
Yeah.
to take over the state of Alaska.
Exactly.
I'll just let you know you are a liberal.
So Walker got 100% of those.
Yeah.
So what does that leave? 8% left. These are the Eddie Burks of the world.
Yeah.
They just hate the oil industry. And that's his constituency.
I don't think they hate the oil industry.
Okay, they think oil industry's bad and we should run it.
I don't really know what they think. I don't even know that they know
like
what they
the fact that the oil company executives make too much money.
Yes.
Well,
there could be 1,000 different things, or they just want a better deal, or they think that there's too much.
So we're being taken advantage.
I think a lot of them think that we're being taken advantage of.
The anti-oil populist crowd.
Yeah, and the translation of that is it's us versus them. We don't rise together. Right. The state of Alaska doesn't do well, and they do well. If they do well, then the state of Alaska is getting screwed.
No win-win.
Right. And that's a real problem, by the way.
They shouldn't make too much money.
And the reality of the situation, the relationship between the state of Alaska and the oil industry has been one of the biggest win-wins in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
So you got 8% of the anti-oil populace. The rest are leftist. What do they care where that pipeline goes? These people are already lost. They don't have any. They're not. They're not really. I mean, the leftists are going to always love them because Parnell is the alternative. And then if you hate the oil industry, anything you can do that will punish the oil industry. If the oil industry doesn't want to go to Valdez, that 8% is going to love that.
I don't see it that way at all. I don't see anybody out there who anything that's bad for the oil industry is what they want. Maybe Malcolm Roberts. Yeah. No, I am serious.
Bonnie,
I listen to Eddie Burke, and I can't believe he's conservative. I cannot believe he calls himself Republican
because of what he says about the oil industry.
The oil industry and a few other things,
marijuana.
Frankly. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of and gay marriage. Hey, if you want to get married, go ahead.
569-1080, 569-1080. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, KOAN, KVNT. Time currently 8:44. KOAN, KVNT. Time currently 8:44.
C300 formatic excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details.
Mercedes-Benz of Anchorage. The best or nothing.
Hi, my name is Mike Ferris, president of Alaska Enterprise Solutions. We are the face of Xerox in Alaska. Xerox is a trendsetter, and AES Xerox is following in those footsteps. We are the document management experts, specializing in short-term rentals of copiers and scanners. We have offices in Anchorage and Fairbanks, and we are your Xerox professional agency with an Alaska focus and worldwide support. You can reach us at aesalaska.com or 561-5100.
You know, there are many people in Anchorage who have their own special place for gifts for occasions like Mother's Day or birthdays, anniversaries, whatever. Into Bell's Nursery and Gifts they go. And there's always something perfect. Bell's Gift Shop on Specking Road has a truly incredible selection of unique creative gift ideas. Crystal, glass, and china and flatware, a wonderful kitchen section, candles, lotions and potions, and of course delicious Seas candies, and lots more. Great for browsing or finding that special gift. The Gift Shop at Bell's Nursery on Specking Road.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and Fagan, Biegel, KVNT.
8:47 in the morning. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. Our number 569-1080. 569-1080. So, Bonnie, you wanted to talk about Vegas not conceding?
Yeah, I mean, my dad called from New Mexico and said, has he conceded yet? Has he conceded? And I know for a fact that if it was a Republican, if it was switched, they'd be calling Dan Sullivan,
sore loser.
A sore loser. They'd be saying he's acting childish. I mean, all kinds of things. You would never hear the end of it.
No, actually, what they'd be saying is, this is hurting Alaska.
Yes, also that.
You're not conceding is not allowing for Alaska to get their Senate appointments. It's not allowing for them to get their people organized down in Washington, D.C. This will probably set us back a year. You are hurting the state of Alaska. That is what they'd say.
So how much does Mark Begich love Alaska now?
He loves it all the way from here to the Washington, D.C. bank. I don't know.
I mean, because that's what he's doing. He's disallowing Alaska,
Sure.
a part of the table.
We're going to know tomorrow, aren't we? Tomorrow, the end of business?
I hope so. Yeah, there can't be that many because the only ones that we would be waiting for after tomorrow were votes that were sent by Election Day but haven't been delivered to the post office before the end of the day tomorrow. How many could that possibly be? 100? 200? So we will know tomorrow. We'll know everything. All these races will be decided.
Are we waiting on overseas military ballots also?
They have 15 days to come in, but I guess they could have sent them in on the day of, and there will be a certain percentage of those. I don't expect it to be very many. Maybe there's 1,000 votes left outstanding after tomorrow.
So we'll know by the end of the day tomorrow who our next senator is. So what's the big deal?
Well, I think what she's talking about, the big deal here is that the media would be pounding on Dan Sullivan to concede with the goal of making the Republican Party look bad, of making conservatives look bad. They always have a political aspect to just about everything they do because they're on the left, and they know that this is a battle between big government and little government, and that they're on their side.
I saw a clip last night with Cheryl Atkinson. Did you hear about this?
I have heard.
Do you remember the Candy Crowley debate with Romney and Obama said that he called it a terrorist attack, and Romney said, no, you didn't, and Candy Crowley said, yes, he did.
Wow.
She was wrong. Well, last night, I forget who was doing the interview.
Megyn Kelly.
Yeah, no.
No, Gretchen. Van Susteren.
No.
Greta. I was close. Come on, would you just give me a close? Golly.
Cheryl Atkinson was being interviewed, and she said that they discovered that CBS had done an interview, Steve Croft, with 60 Minutes, where he asked him point blank, Mr. President, this is like the day after Benghazi, or 2 days after Benghazi, was this a terrorist attack? And he basically said no. Well, Cheryl Atkinson didn't know that clip exists. CBS covered it up. They gave her another clip, which was kind of designed to bolster his original point. And finally someone leaked it. And he says, no, we don't know that it's a terrorist attack at this point, and we know it's an attack on Americans, but we don't know that it's a terrorist attack. That was 2 days after the Benghazi attack, and Cheryl Atkinson said that the management at CBS intentionally hid that up until just a couple of days ago.
Look, the media is a wing of the Democrat Party. They're a wing of the big government party.
The higher-end news management people are activists.
Wow.
It's like Tony Hopfinger and Alice Rogoff at the Dispatch. They see themselves as activists. They're to steer and move public opinion toward their ideology, to support their ideology.
It's just repression.
Well, I love what Glenn said the other day on his Facebook page about education and how that eventually it's going to get so expensive to educate kids publicly that you're going to have to go to private schools because it's not sustainable. And really, that's what ended the Soviet Union. Well, I got news for the Tony Hopfinger and the Alice Rogoffs of the world. You're losing credibility in droves. And guess what? You keep acting the same way, people are just going to start laughing at you.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you guys went after Joe Miller with the Dispatch and the way you went after Governor Parnell with the Daily News, I can't imagine anybody who is not a complete, total, committed leftist ever giving any credence to your newspaper.
Yeah.
And so you pointed out that the National Guard stories, by the way, stopped.
Yeah, right after the election. They ran another one.
I think they ran one more since then.
After my comment or something. I don't know why, but But the bottom line is, you can't continually be so biased and expect to maintain credibility.
Yeah, people see through it.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
And the thing that they're probably called to do is just admit, what they knew. And we're biased here. We have a political bent to what we have to say.
I had Bernie Goldberg on my old show. Remember him?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Wrote the book Biased. He was a reporter for CBS News for 22 years. You've never seen Bernie Goldberg? You don't watch Fox News? No.
I haven't seen him.
Okay, because he's on just about all the shows all the time. But
oh yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah,
White hair.
He's great.
Yeah.
So we had him on the show, and I'm talking to him about his book, which I read the whole thing. It was a great book. And he said, Dan, there's only one segment of people left in this nation who do not know that the media, the national mainstream media, is left-wing biased. I said, who's that? The national media. They honestly believe that they are fair and objective.
Yeah. Well, it's their worldview.
You sit Tony Hopfinger down here and Alice Rogoff, and you put them on a lie detector test and ask them if they're fair and balanced, they would pass it.
They believe what they're saying.
They believe what they believe. They're fair and balanced down the middle.
Yeah.
One of the things which is driving young people to the Republican Party, if you go out on Drudge right now, drudgereport.com, the main story is Obama moves on the internet, and he's in like a Chairman Mao outfit. And right under that, Ted Cruz says net neutrality is Obamacare for the internet.
Wow.
And I really think that young children, or young kids, you could be 15, you could be 20, they are getting the message more and more that the people who are for freedom are Republicans, are conservatives. And I really think that is becoming a bigger and bigger part of the discussion.
Well, the more that Obama acts like a dictator, the more people are seeing his dictatorial bent.
Mm-hmm.
Do you listen to Mark Levin much?
Yes.
I thought so. Yeah, I really think he's the most devastating man.
For a few minutes at a time.
I know, but I really do, because I was Mark Levin at one point, and I understand. Stay with me here, Glenn. I understand the bloodthirst of judgment. When I used to approach my show every day, I was going to go, who am I going to tear apart today? Who am I going to rip to shreds today? Who am I going to judge today and make look horrible? That's how I ran my show. And the poison that came out of my mouth. And when I hear Levin, it's like, oh, man, that's me. And the problem when you have that attitude is it's so easy, because you're looking for perfection all of a sudden. When you get into the judgment mode, you're looking for perfection. You're not looking for solutions. You're not looking for answers. You're not looking to unite. You're looking for perfection. And anytime there's no perfection, you tear it. You rip the flesh.
Mm.
And that's why Levin, because the way he talks about the Republican Party, it's like they're Al-Qaeda. The way he talks about people like John Boehner and Mitch McConnell, like they're the most evil men ever to live. And he screams and he yells and he uses the most hateful language. And I believe if the enemy of freedom can succeed, it will succeed by dividing the conservative movement. And I'm guilty of it too sometimes, because I get so mad at Tea Party folks for being so quick to judge Republicans and to lump them in the same category as Democrats, which they're not. And sometimes I'm very harsh with my rhetoric with Tea Party folks. We got to stop that. Those of us who love freedom, I don't care what you consider yourself, Tea Party, conservative, independent, common sense, whatever you say.
Common sense, independent.
We got to get together. We got to stop. We got to focus on the real enemy. This country was never stronger than September 12, 2011, than the day after Pearl Harbor. We have got a very clear and present danger, and it's the Democratic Party. It's the left, and they will destroy us. They will take away everything. You won't be able to educate your kids. There'll be no homeschooling. I can go down the list. That's what this movement is. And we've got to unite. Tea Party folks, establishment folks, independents, libertarians. We gotta stop tearing each other up. I'm just holding them accountable. No, we got to unite. We got to get together. Look, you've got this evil entity. It is going to destroy us. It will take no prisoners. It is Mao. It is Hitler. It is Stalin. You go to Mussolini. They're all the same. And they're here in our country now in charge. They run our country right now. They own the White House.
Well, I don't see why. Look,
help me.
Well, you're taking it one step too far, in my opinion. The left has a very easy path to success politically, because they have the school system and they have the media and they have television and all these other things which move society to the left. Conservatives have a much harder road to go because they have all these people with different highest priorities. My highest priority is this, your highest priority is that, somebody else's, and they all have to figure out, well, as the left did, because, and this is my explanation for people about that they were able to do it, so I do think conservatives can do it, but it's not going to be easy. But the left brought together unions, they brought together trial lawyers, they brought together environmentalists, and they all said, you know what, we have to find candidates who satisfy all of us. And that's really the call for people who are conservatives these days.
All three of those entities suck life out of the economy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Folks, tomorrow will be a much friendlier, peaceful show.
Veterans Day.
Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. See you tomorrow, 6 a.m. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in to Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Be sure to catch them every weekday morning from 6 to 9 a.m. on Hot Talk KOAN 95.1 FM, 1080 a.m. and online at 1080KOAN.com.